SEC.
All right, what's going on, good people of Cherokee County? Big Matt and Diamond Dean is in the house. We've got a special crew here with us today. That's why the cameras are kind of looking all weird. Set that mic over there on that table, please.
Are we on?
Yes.
We are on.
Yeah. Okay.
Mr. Joshua, right here.
Right
We're
there.
looking right there.
Yeah.
Can you see me?
Yes. All right. Let me
You see Reggie?
try to flip this over. We'll figure out how to work this here. Okay. All right. There they are. Turn that, Todd. Turn that to the right, just a smidgen. Just a smidgen. A little bit more. A little bit more. Right there. Great.
All right.
You sure?
Can you see me?
A little bit more.
Can you see me? Can you see
Oh,
Josh?
whoa, no.
What about now?
That's great. I
Can you
love
see
it.
Josh?
Yes. Yes. All right.
We're needy, bro.
Average Joe's guys are in the house. Can y'all hear? That's what I need. Let me check that. Let me listen in while we talk and y'all are talking.
Oh, no.
That's great. Yes, that's good. Sounds pretty
I
good.
don't know if you can hear us. We'll bring this a little closer.
Let me give me my.
Reggie, can you hear me?
Can y'all hear? That's what I need.
We can pass them out. That's what we'll do.
I think everybody's good. We hear everybody. We see everybody.
We will pass them out if we need to. Reggie,
Okay.
That's the mic.
It's the only way you can test live. You just have to test it live. You can set it or you can talk on either one. It's pretty sensitive. Okay. We got sound checks in the way and everything's looking good here. Now, tonight, guys, thank everybody for tuning in. Big Matt Diamond Dean's in the house. Cherokee County's greatest duo. They ain't a better duo to cover. We got the greatest duo from Birmingham to Etowah County. These guys have covered it all. And we're real appreciative for them coming over. They're going to talk about the high school basketball finals. They were down in Birmingham doing a lot of coverage. Plenty of stuff to talk about. I got county tournament boys and girls games. Cedar Bluff over Gelsel. Spring Garden was over Sandrock. And then Center was over Cedar Bluff. Then Sandrock was over Gelsel. Got a lot of stuff to talk about. And, of course, Dean's going to give us our college
Basketball rundown.
And it's been wild. Yes, I know Tennessee hadn't won an SEC in 42, 43 years. Not SEC tournament. So, yes,
Rumor is
lots of stuff going on.
The trophy cabinet, somebody lost the key to it. It's been so long since they had to open it up.
Now, they've won the regular season probably, though, haven't they?
Yeah.
They've had some good teams. They've always been good. Pretty much.
Merle was there. They're the only team that would beat Florida consistently. And I was a huge Gator fan then. And the only team that gave us any kind of fits was Bruce Pearl's Tennessee teams.
Bruce Pearl.
That's a fact.
Yeah, he's just good.
When he was at Tennessee, they never had like a bunch of super short.
No, they never were bad, though, were they?
But, man, they were so scrappy, and they always won the 20 to 25 games. And they gave Florida fits. But go ahead. Sorry.
Yeah, that's kind of the rundown. We got we got a lot to talk about, even on days like today when it don't feel like we got a lot to talk about. And I'm trying to do about 6 things at one time. So if I'm not paying attention, I'm doing about 4 different things at once.
Hey, that's just a normal day for you, bro. That's how you roll.
Well, it makes me feel needed.
Just about every high school sport there is now is going 24/7, 365.
Oh, yeah.
Reggie, I know this is off topic, but did you say that, what was Arkansas? Just while were they at 3?
Didn't see Arkansas, but I can look and see.
If you don't mind.
You got to watch Reggie. He's a statistical.
And A&M did not make it.
I have not confirmed that. I just saw somebody posted on Facebook.
I don't
They beat Auburn and Arkansas in the same weekend. They've got 20 wins.
They have to make it.
And then Alabama gets the 6th seed with 19 wins.
You can't tell me a team that beats Auburn and Arkansas
They
and makes it to the championship game in the toughest conference in America
this year. Yeah.
this year. I think that's.
Is that not what a time to be alive? We're sitting here talking about the SEC is the greatest basketball conference.
I got a feeling that's more
That's a
big
good point,
fact next year.
Yeah.
That's the first time I've ever heard anybody say it.
Well, here's the funny part about that.
Podcast, Spotify, Applecast. We're on live with podcast. I got that rolling.
So here's the funny part about what Josh just said is
Arkansas's 4 seed.
Okay.
Oh, so they went from not being in it to a 4th.
No, he's talking about A&M.
Oh, A&M. Okay.
Oh, they act like Arkansas may win it.
No.
We'll talk about that.
I don't know.
If they played it in Arkansas, I'd say they had.
Yeah. Yeah, they're great.
Okay. What are you on the?
I want to say something before we get started.
Yes. Okay. Go ahead. Kill it, man.
And I'm not taking a shot. This may be considered a shot, but it's not a shot. From what I've seen the last 2 weeks, what you guys do is huge because it's not done anywhere else. And I'm talking about from Mobile to Montgomery to Huntsville. Nobody is stepping out on their own dime, which is what you guys have started. Eventually, it's going to pay off you guys, obviously. But nobody, and let me tell you this, I'm talking about nobody, is doing what you guys are doing.
It's crazy.
Hey, if you don't believe me, ask this man. Nobody is even in here interviewing these kids, win or lose, after these tournament games. There is no local guy from that area interviewing. What does that tell you? There's no coverage. And when we go to post a picture of, let's just say, Yarborough from New Hope, all right, and it gets 70,000 people reached, it's not because Average Joe's is huge. It's because they have zero coverage.
Yeah, that makes sense. Yeah, you asked me about our reach and stuff. It's gained since February for a month's time. I think it's gained It's been a 98% growth in the past 2 months.
98.
That's just since basketball, and we're just kind of getting into baseball right now. We're just kind of covering it now.
If you got a 15% growth in any business,
and audience-wise, it's been. I think audience-wise, it was at 47 or 37 or 47% for reach and 57% for page growth. The audience is growing more, and you get more people on the page. And our side notes that I was telling you guys about, that side notes page, that's for people in the county if they want to share their kids' soccer schedule, wrestling schedule, stuff that I don't have the ability to go cover, that we can't go do. It just a page for people in the county to have hey, if they want to gripe about.
Explain that to Josh exactly what that is. Listen to this.
It's just a side notes page to where you just create another page, and it can be Average Joe's side notes.
It's our hub. But people like all these youth teams that always ask us to share, and we can't.
Yeah,
they can go share their own.
Well, and even the college aspect, because college stuff, people want to gripe about the Alabama basketball. If they want to gripe about Alabama basketball, they can go on that page and create something to start a trend.
Pictures they want.
That's right.
Yeah, they can. I think if they become members. Well, if they become members, they can add their own pictures.
No,
not at all.
Do you
Never.
really manage that page, or do you just kind of let people go?
I piddle on it. Yes,
but you can erase.
If you just go in there, and you can see something that you don't like. Okay, I bet on this disclaimer.
Yes.
Yeah, and he has the ability if there was drama.
So we can tell people, hey, stop arguing on this page, go to that page.
Yeah.
Or you can just delete it.
And you put up there, you can pin a post, and in the pin post, I add, hey, remember this is for kids. Share your kids' schedules. Share arguments about Alabama, Auburn, Iron Bowl, whatever. But remember, remember this is just for kids and getting news for the county. That's all it's for.
Now, go back to my original point I was making about you guys. This county's lucky to have you guys. I'm telling you.
I appreciate that
because I've seen it, and unfortunately, I've had to see it from another perspective. I've had to see losing teams in these post game interviews that are crying their eyes out, and they don't even have
nobody's there
reporter from their whole entire town.
I didn't. Now,
it's sad, dude. What y'all are doing is freaking fantastic.
It's not a shot against anybody. I'm just using them as an example because I seen as being a fan of the game of the basketball when I was down there hanging out with you guys. Midfield, for example, man, what a fantastic basketball. Girls and boys, I mean, they're good. We've seen them play, but it's like when the girls were there, it seemed like they had a group there, but when they left, it's like, well, people left, and you're thinking, well, they're going to come back for the boys. So every time they hit a shot, I'm hearing either side who they played. North Sand Mountain, yes, that game was that.
Yeah, they shot all those threes.
North Sand Mountain's we're sitting on just randomly on their side, kind of. Man, there's nobody hollering for midfield. I mean, really? These guys are throwing it off the backboard and dunking it. I mean, it's amazing. They're good, and there's nobody there cheering for them. I was surprised.
All right, so no fans are there. So do you honestly think they're going to have coverage? That's what I'm saying.
Right.
Like, that's
I don't
not.
get it.
If they don't even have fans there, they're definitely not going to have a reporter to cover this.
No, yeah, and we've seen that from.
And that's what I'm saying about you guys. I mean, you guys go out to all the spending, no matter what the record is.
Being in that media room with you that time or two, just not a lot of people in there. Yeah, there's just not, and there's plenty of cheers.
You understand how important what y'all are doing at Cherokee County is now?
That makes us feel better, I guess.
Here's the thing: print media has been on the decline for a long time.
Yes, sure.
But now we're starting to see the decline of like news, sports.
Because of that lull, one is causing, another one's coming. Well, what we do is not coming as fast as it's going. Is that what you're saying?
And now social media.
Yes.
That's where people want to get their news. That's
sure.
where they're already at.
Yeah.
So if they can get their coverage for sports where they're at already.
That short chain, pull it twice.
I mean, that's just, you're looking at Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, YouTube.
Yes. Yeah. Yeah.
I mean,
there's
we were
not
talking the other day, and Facebook, that's where a lot of people keep up with family members.
Yep.
Right.
A lot of recruiting happens on Twitter.
Yes.
And
that's the only reason I'm on there. Because it's usually a lot of drama.
That's where a lot of the kids.
It is. We wrote a lot on Instagram, just little clips and reels I put together.
It's like on social media, it's like Instagram, the kids kind of flock to that. But then you go to Facebook, the parents flock to that to see what's going on. But then you got Twitter that's being used to kind of get your name out there. It's like every social media platform has their own purpose. Yeah.
Tell me if I'm wrong. Everybody on Twitter can see your comments, right?
Yes. Like,
if I make a comment,
I let that table down.
Let it down.
Yes. Hold the mic there. You can adjust because it says too high. You can't see.
if I go on Twitter and make a comment about LeBron James, he can hear it.
Yeah, I'm pretty
I mean,
sure.
he'll see.
Yeah, if he looks for it, yeah.
One of the arms kind of moved inside that. See what I'm saying?
But I just didn't know. I was
So let me throw this at you. What Reggie says is 1,000% true. Your kids migrate to Instagram because it's instant gratification, it's a picture,
Yes.
and then maybe a little comment.
Yes.
The colleges look at Twitter. That's their bridge to colleges.
Yes.
The parents and the business owners in that local city is on Facebook.
Yes.
You
Yeah.
need all three.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, because you want your sponsors or your local business, whoever they are. For us, we thank ours now, Warrior Gym, for what they do. And, of course, Smorgasbord Restaurant over at Cedar Bluff. And that's a way for people that eats there know us. And then, like you said, Instagram. Guys, and I am not telling y'all this, I'm talking to them. When your kid, Luke Welch, use him as an example. He hits a home run. I'm in the dugout. I take a picture of him hitting the ball. I've tagged him and put the Spring Garden logo in the picture, and when he comes home, it's posted. And he's tagged
before he goes out to the field the next inning.
Oh God! I mean, it's posted when he's jogging the bases.
That's what I'm saying.
But he's
and all
instantly
those people in those stands are sharing it.
And when he comes back to the dugout, and I don't interfere with players because I didn't like when people did when I was coaching. So when they get done or going to swap innings, you just show him your phone and say, "Hey man, good shot, proud of you." Yeah. He's like, "Wow, that's up right now." Yeah, Connor Wilson over at center, same. I mean, those kind of things, and y'all do it too. I mean, I'm not talking to y'all.
And I've done it several times. In the dugout or whatever. Like, hey, I just took this shot. Check that out.
It's big.
Yeah,
I remember I had an interception in a ball game in high school. I couldn't wait till the next morning to see if it was in the Gadsden time.
Move it.
Not to take ourselves, but
move it that way. That
you woke up
move
on
the mic
Saturday
that way.
mornings and went out there and got the paper.
Oh, I used to love it.
And
Right
you look to see if
It's
you
what it
had a
is. It's
shot,
blocking
you
Reggie's
know.
piece.
If your
That's
picture
great.
was one of the ones they used
Yeah,
for a game.
absolutely.
And
Yeah.
now,
It's all.
there's
You can
70
do that every day.
Yeah, there's 70 pictures of a game that happened yesterday.
Here's the deal. It's changed for the better, I think, because now we didn't have these formats when we were in school.
No, God
It's
no.
changed for the better now. But some schools, and I'm not calling any out, but I'm just being honest.
They know who they are.
Some of them's gotten spoiled with it, especially in our county.
Yes, well, they're a large county.
I'm
Yeah,
being serious.
No more clues. No more clues.
No more schools.
They're big county schools, and they sometimes they think they should
they've
because
got
of who they
spoiled
are,
with it.
maybe.
But here's my thing. let them go to some of these places in rural central Alabama or rural
Go
southern
take a trip to Gales or Spring
Well,
Garden.
hey, where you're in the state championship game and you don't have one human being in that press conference representing your city covering these kids.
Mm-hmm.
And then yet, you can go do what you guys do. You're in the dugout with them on two losing teams and still taking pictures.
Yeah.
We
Yeah.
were talking the other day, and
It's got. Oh, go ahead.
we had a message, and I'm not going to give the school away, but and it's probably several different schools, but they would say, "Hey, did y'all get any pictures of this team? Love what you guys do. Watch everything you put out." And I told Bo and Reggie, I didn't even know they were watching us.
Yeah.
That's happened quite a bit.
Yeah. But you have these schools that, like Bo said, I mean, they take it for granted,
Mhm.
which I didn't know this till yesterday. We started in
2018. Yeah.
4 years. We've been there for 4
4
years.
years. Yeah.
Got
but-
two, don't we?
Yeah.
2 years.
Then you have it's very refreshing when you have these new schools that we didn't even know
Mm-hmm.
watched, and they're like,
Oh,
"Man,
yeah.
we love what y'all guys do. Appreciate it."
Do you have a lot of the kids, like when you go on the sideline and like the water boys, do the water boys come up to you and say, "Hey, you're from so-and-so." I'm like, "How old are you?" He's 12. He said, "Man, it's so cool. You got a YouTube show." And you I was at Sandrock one night, man, all the kids are young,
I
like
think you're on TV.
6th or
Yeah.
7th graders. So you can tell in years to come, you can tell what's going to happen. You can see that, like our first kind of big push group, we'll just use them for example, Spring Garden. They were making that run. It was our first season in, so we really followed them when they went up and played Mars Hill that time, And when we go back over there, the young kids that were like 6th, 7th graders, well, maybe they're 8th graders and they're starting to play football, so they know who we are. They know that there's media. And I told Cole at the media days over there the other day that these kids might as well get used to having media around them at a younger level. Because, and he said, "Hey, look, he played college baseball. He played at West Alabama, or
Yeah.
he said, hey, look, coming from Galesville and then going into a college, and there's people talking to you, writing paper." He said, "Man, I was
I'm sorry, played at Birmingham Southern.
Birmingham Southern, yes, Jack. Big culture shock, guys. Y'all been to Galesville? Go to Birmingham Southern from Galesville, and then you see what I'm saying. So getting and learning media is something for the kids that are going to have to. They're going to get used to."
I can go into any concession stand in this county now and just grab a Coke and I'm like, "Hey, what are you doing?"
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'll pay you later.
Well, I
There's
tried
perks
that
to it.
once, and it didn't work for me.
We can. We really can.
I went to a youth game, football game, and I was sitting on the sideline, and I had a kid come up, a football player come up to me, and he was like, "Hey, you're Average Joe's." I'm like, "You know who we are?" He's like, "I watch everything you do." He said, "I'm gonna be on y'all's show one day," and I was like, "Keep working hard, doing what you're doing, and you will." And I went to a couple of middle school games, because middle school games we can't really make because we're usually there when the nights that they play. But the ones I went to, those kids knew who we were already, and it was very refreshing. To see that,
It is. It makes you feel like you're kind of accomplishing something to know that, you hand out we give our Player of the Week shirts and then food cards. We give food cards. Our sponsors pay for all that. And there's another kid, there's some jealousy. You can see animosity. They're over there looking like, "Hey, I want one of them shirts." I said, "Well, you wouldn't Player of the Week." Old Tay Diamond over here at Cherokee County. Shout out to Tay. He's going to get one. I said, "Oh, trust me, you're going to get a shirt because he's really good, man." And he's just a kid. So let's just make an example. It does make you feel like you're doing something.
What's funny is first 2 or 3 years I could get these candid snapshots.
Mm-hmm.
But now when I'm on the sidelines, I'm trying to get these candid snapshots of them, off in the distance looking and concentrating on the game. And I look through my viewfinder and I see this.
Oh, yeah.
Pay attention to the game. Don't look at me. You don't get me in trouble with coach.
Exactly. I've had a couple shots
There's
like
a lot of
that.
good things they've
I'm
got.
sorry to disrupt the flow of the show.
No, yeah, we appreciate it, man. Bo.
I just had to say that about y'all.
Yeah, I appreciate it.
Yeah, we can always give stats because the local paper now does cumulative stats for all the kids, which the guys in times used to do, but don't do anymore.
No, there's not really gas and times
You're
in
down to one
Anniston.
human being,
That's kind of gone.
the whole sports network now, and he's new to the area, so it's very hard on him.
And the kids get to hear how many yards they've rushed for. If they don't read the paper, we can look at it and
We
talk
can,
about it on the show.
yeah, at least we can
I've
report
actually
it.
had. I'm moving from one end of the field to the other, and I'm walking past some players, and I had a couple of kids, quarterbacks. I mean, we're talking like starters. Turn around and say, "Hey, what's the score of the so-and-so game?" And I'm just like, I don't think I'm supposed to be talking to you right now, you know. But it's very cool. I used to be a real bad Alabama fan.
Well, I was too.
Y'all
I
know-
used to be
y'all know, but-
hollering, yelling crazy.
But
I'd let that go.
when you can sit there and talk to these kids during the week, and they ask you, "Hey, can y'all help get my name out there?" You know, and I don't want to say I do root for Alabama. I watch them on Saturdays. Now my wife has to let me know who we're playing what time, but it's just different. You know, I'm not gonna say.
It is.
I will say I like high school sports, but I don't like college.
Well, I do. It's not even close.
Yeah, I know, Bo. He's not a the money. He's told me 100 times the money, and there is. He's right. There is a lot of big money involved. The pageantry is what I think I'm trying to hold on to it as long as I can because we know it just is, and the rule changes and that kind of stuff. But we do
Ask you a
enjoy it.
question.
We do.
You think anybody in Pritchard, Alabama, gives a crap about Bear Bryant? Just going to go play at Alabama?
No, not Barry
I
Bryant.
can
Probably
promise
no.
you, zero. That, when you talk about pageantry, you talk about
Yeah.
Bear Bryant, his legendary coaches,
Yeah.
what they done. They don't care. Where's the NIL deal?
Oh yeah, now you're right. Yeah,
It's
now
done, bro.
that that's where it is now.
It's already killed it. I mean, it killed it before. There was three or four. I'm not going to get this whole argument. But there was about 4 to 5 schools, I'll say 6 at the most, around the nation that had already figured it out and already went that leap of faith, let's call it, and already ruined college football. So then when the NIL deal come down, that was the coup de grace. That was the
It is.
nuclear warhead.
It's
that just
really-
eradicated what college football is all about, which was about me and my dad sitting on a porch growing up since I was 3 years old, hearing these stories of these legendary people before him, and then I'm sitting here watching it with my dad, and we're listening to it on the radio.
Well, there's no loyalty to programs.
It's
You got
done.
kids moving around.
Yeah.
We just
It's
watched
done.
before.
It's
Kids used
done.
to go and play at Alabama just to
Because
wear
it's
the jersey.
Alabama.
Well,
Yeah.
and now
Nobody
you got
cares now.
Josh Pate was just talking about before. You know, there's no. They got more transfer portal kids coming in. What was it than high school
Well,
kids
Caleb
being
Williams
committed?
Well, can I
Takes
say,
Rattler's spot, leads Oklahoma 11 wins in the league.
can I
He's a
say
USC
this?
now.
Here's what the saddest thing about this. And I'm going to take some criticism. This has nothing to do with Average Joe's, what I'm about to say. This has to do with Bo Stern. All these Alabama fans around the state that thought, oh, we're on top because we're Alabama. No, you was not. It had nothing to do with Alabama and the pageantry of Alabama, what we used to know it. It had to do with what they was doing to get kids in, period. I mean, I'm just telling you. It's a fact. And here's the deal about it. There was grown adults our age and older who thought we're Alabama. It's the pageantry that's bringing these kids in. No, it's not. And now that
Why
the
were they
NIL,
coming in
Well,
when
I can
Sheila
prove
was
it. Here's the
Yeah.
proof in the pudding. Now that the NIL deals is here and it's open season,
there? Mhm.
who gets the number one class? Oil money. Oil money.
Hey, sir.
They will never be touched.
Hey,
You can't touch
calm
oil
down.
money.
Calm down. Sir. All right.
You can't touch oil money. What's funny is you still had Alabama fans that thought they're coming here because Alabama's pageantry. Do you really think that?
That not in
Are
the
you
past.
kidding me?
Probably not in the past 20 years. It's probably not been that way.
There's a lot of fans who thought that though.
Yeah.
We're going to play, all right, to the
Oh,
level
God.
that we want to play.
Here we go,
want
guys.
teams.
If you hadn't seen Captain America Superman, please go to Average Joe's.
We want to play at the level where we want other teams, all right, to not want to play Alabama, all right? So we're going to do everything that we can, all right, on each snap of each day, all right? And that's why we're going to win. That's part of the process.
Yeah.
Thank you, Josh.
I'm just saying.
Time to do that.
Josh makes
Thank you,
good
Josh.
points. I
Okay.
guess.
You can't even
Hey,
see Nick Saban's
now-
lips moving, can you?
But before we get too deep into, I ain't doing that anymore. Before we get too deep into college, we're gonna talk about our boys and girls in the county tournament action over here, and then y'all go through the basketball
We'll go
stuff,
through the basketball stuff.
and then he's gonna hit the
Y'all want
college
to talk about the county
basketball.
tournament just happened. I
Yes.
will be right back and go to the restroom break.
Yeah, okay.
Y'all go ahead.
Yes.
Y'all take over.
All right, guys. Looks like notes for Center versus Sandrock. This is the boys' game, which we were there at this game. Pruitt got the W. Walker Pruitt. Everybody knows who Walker is. He had to give up 3 hits, 2 runs, had 7 strikeouts over 5 innings. T. Whitefield and Edmondson wound up finishing the game there for him. Yoder pitched for Sandrock, and he had a great game. Coach Short is really trying to put some new stuff together out there of seeing of where he's some players that he's missing. So they put together a good game out there. Yoder had to give up 4 hits, 3 runs, had 6 strikeouts. He pitched 4 innings. Now, Sandrock's Tucker, he was 2 for 3. He led the team. You know, Sandrock didn't have an error in the game. Really? And I've noticed this is a accumulation. I know through the tournament. I'll give you some others here in a minute, some other teams that had no error. So that tells you that they are working.
High quality.
I mean, if you don't make an error, I mean.
That's pro stuff. I mean, they don't ever make errors much.
Now, Connor Wilson. We call him C-Dub. He knows who he is, Connor. How you doing? His dad, Heath, works for the Centos there in Gaston. And Heath, shout out to them. Connor, for center, he was 2 for 3, had 4 stolen. They also had no errors from the team either. So you're talking about a high school baseball game in Cherokee County, Alabama. Neither team has an error.
In a ball game.
Yes. Waldrop singled on a 3-2 and scored a run in the 4th to stay ahead. And Center went ahead to win that game for them to be able to move on to match up to play Spring Garden the next day. Now, here is the Cedar Bluff and Gilsel boys game.
That was
it started.
Score, wasn't it?
It started at, yes, it was. The final score was 21-11.
Tell them about it set records, didn't it?
The game starts at 3:55. We walk off the field at 7:38. That's when I looked at my watch. 3:55 to 7:38.
There was another game right after.
Yes, and then the 1, 2. Well, it's just the innings, man. They were popping up and fouling off. From inning 2 to 3 was nearly an hour. It was crazy. In the 4th inning, there was it was a close game. It was tied at 7 in the bottom of the 4th. Caden Pack gets a walk, and Bucky, Hombre's younger brother, he led with 5 runs. He was 3 for 5 in the game. He was keeping the dugout up the whole time, trying to get guys to not get down in their head. Giles's Bradley Mitchell singled early. Cedar Bluff's Ashton Young. Let me tell you about Ashton Young. He's a young man, and I know his grandmother very well. Went to school, graduated with his aunt Alicia Rochester.
Oh, that's his aunt.
Hey, he's not played a whole lot of baseball. Very young. He was put in a tight spot, and on a 3-2 pitch, he scores 2 runs. I mean, you're just feeling for him up there in the box. You're not sure. That's a tough situation, and he's just. I mean, you're talking about he's the last batter in the spot. He bats clean at the very end, not clean up forward, but the last batter. Ashton had a great game. Was proud of him. He scored 2 runs. He had a nice little blooper shot over to right field, kind of behind first base, right there where nobody can get it. They couldn't nobody get it to it, man. Gilsel scored 4 runs coming into the 5th. Cedar Bluff put up 4 of their own then. Mitchell doubles for Gilsel on a 2-0, scored 2 runs. Garmin walks, scoring a run. Sharp hit a pitch, was hit by a pitch, and then Gilsel threw a wild pitch. They give up 2 scores on that wild pitch. Preston Burt, McFry, Pack, Bucky all moved the runners late. And then for Gilsel, Reynolds, Jacob Gordon, Sharp, Almond all had great innings. Pat goes on the bump late in the 2nd inning, and Flint winds up finishing up the game for him. Connor, his grandma, Miss Pam, she was pacing. Miss Pam's just pacing. Her grandson's pitching, and she just don't want nobody to say nothing bad about her grandson. He's up there pitching. He throws a bad pitch. She's like, "Hey, look, if you
can I ask one question?
Hey, you say something, my grandson, it's on."
Just saying, and throw strikes. That's not really saying that.
Oh, she'll get you. You don't mess with Miss Pam, trust me. I lived in her house half the time. Me and her son graduated together.
You got to be able to say something.
And shout out to Ricky. He's one of the best semi-golfers around here.
Are you one of those that just cannot sit there and watch? You got to say something.
No, he don't say nothing.
No,
he's not a baseball guy. He don't.
I just can't imagine getting mad because somebody says, "All right, throw strikes now."
Yeah, that's it. You're choked out. Miss Pam kills you. All right, Cedar Bluff had 17 hits. Hunter, Bucky, and Dasher, and Pack and Young were all big in the game. Preston smoked one to the fence, I think twice. He had a really good day. Y'all know Preston, the linebacker for Cedar Bluff. Y'all have had him down there on y'all show. Gilsville had 15 hits. Kyler, Cooper, and Mitchell, and Lee, Jason's boy, and the Sharp kid, and Jacob they all had good games.
15 hits is a lot of hits.
Well, it was kind of close there for a while, but then it winds up just in the last
14 to 11.
Yeah, and it just winds up getting crazy. And you get 10 runs in 6 innings, they can call the game. So they scored a few runs there. Just good gracious, man. We couldn't. People were coming over there from a softball game that I'm fixing to talk about, and they were like, "It's in the 3rd inning over here. What is going on?"
I think it's 3 hours and 21 minutes.
This great ridiculous. Now the girls had some really. I love softball. I just want to. I'm gonna go ahead and admit that live right here.
Yeah,
I'm a huge softball fan.
Yes, I think it's getting big.
It's more action.
Well,
it's just more stuff going on.
Softball World Series is 10 times that of the men's.
Really?
Oh yeah.
It's just
Not
something.
even.
It's a quicker kind of pace to it, and
Well,
the rules are a little
17,
different. Well, in the high school they play on time limit. You know,
Yeah.
it's just kind of here's what it is, and let me
From
share.
From a photographer standpoint, though, baseball and softball are just so hard to photograph.
Oh yeah, you can tell me.
'Cause
I can't. It's just. I mean,
Josh can. He's just been.
You have to.
if
You
you
have
got
to find
the
a spot.
$7,000 rig.
And
Yeah,
you gotta
if you ain't
hold
got that
your
2,000
right leg
lens.
up, and you got to find that one good spot
How
in the
close
fence.
balls?
because you're trying to shoot out of the dugout, right?
Yeah.
Usually, I mean, you're
Yeah,
having to stick a
Josh.
lens.
I'm not in the dugout.
What do you shoot from?
Josh is at
I'm
the
outside
third
the
base.
fence.
Okay, so I'm
No, that's fake news. I got my hand up. That's one thing. The greatest pitcher in Average Joe's history was taken by Josh at the state championship tournament last year in Oxford.
It was a good pitch.
It was Neely Welch's at bat. She had a full swing, and I don't know how Josh captured this, but what he captured was, if you know how the backdrop in Oxford looks on those games,
Mhm.
he captured the entire Spring Garden crowd. It looked like a pitcher from the 1920s, but it was a modern day pitcher. And Neely had already swung. It was a full strength swing, and she was just sitting there holding her pose. You can tell he captured it at the right moment. Greatest pitcher in
We're talking Pulitzer type picture.
Do what now?
Pulitzer Prize winning type picture.
By far and away.
Really?
It was the best
I was
pitcher we've
gonna-
ever had in Average Joe's history.
I was going to
Any
zoom
sport.
in on her, but the crowd reactions in the
Uh-huh.
background were just,
It looked like one of those DiMaggio at the plate pictures or
Mm.
something.
yeah, like where it's kind of up, and you
It's
can
the
see
best
them. In the,
pitcher. We can't share it live, but we'll share it later.
Yeah,
after the
dude.
show.
yeah, I
The
like
best
that.
pitcher we've ever had on Average Joe's.
Yeah, and speaking of her, she had another one of those moments. I'll tell you in a second. City Bluff and Gilsville girls run through that in quick. It was 15-3. That's five RBIs for Walker, Miss Mandy's daughter. She had a good game. She had a home run in the 4th and a home run in the 3rd. That kind of put them over the top for Gilsville. Patterson had doubled early in the inning. They both, Beatty, Mark's daughters,
Natalie.
yeah, she got the win for Cedar Bluff on the circle. Give up 4 hits, 3 runs, and 4 innings pitched, 10 strikeouts for her. She's a really good ball player.
Yeah,
And
she-
Hardy Nelson had several hits, and Maddie Payne, they had no errors also in this game.
wow.
Several stolen bases by Cedar Bluff and Gilsville's Heartline led the team in hitting. And
Old man Payne. Yeah.
Center, I think this was, I try to write all this stuff down. Yes, this is it. Center and Sandrock, 10-9. Center beat Sandrock in a
Wow.
walk-off by senior Carson Coley, the one I took the picture with in the dugout. Know her mom and dad, great people. Her mom was,
She's true.
her mom was part of
Very.
She's
the
a real deal.
state basketball team.
You know, I don't
She's
think
a-
I've ever been present for a walk-off in
Really?
person.
Well, I not only did I miss one because I had just left because I thought the game was kind of over, but then I missed another one. Yeah, I can't.
Carson's
It makes you mad, don't it?
self-motivated. She don't need a coach that, you hear this, well, they need a motivator. Well, she don't.
No.
She's the truth.
Yeah, there was 9-9 in the bottom of the 6th, and Coley smacks one over. Hill got the W for the Lady Warriors in 6 innings. She gave up 8 runs, 7 hits, and 10 strikeouts for her also. Hood, for Sandrock, fantastic player. She had taken the L. She had 5 strikeouts, give up 9 runs.
She's good.
Coley and Lee both homered in that game. Coley had 4 hits and with 4 at-bats that game, so she had a
Hey.
good night. Now, Brandon
4
Knight,
for 4?
a friend of mine, I'll give a plug for Brandon at Finish Line Tire. When you come out down here, right by the church across, Finish Line Tire, this is his daughter here. They both had several hits for the day. had a good game. Sandrock Girl was really good. They really smacked the ball, but Center did at the right time. So then that led to Center and Spring Garden playing, which they're gonna have to beat them twice. So this game is gonna be rerun again. Spring Garden wins this one 4-3.
Center is about to step their athletics up.
Oh yeah, it's changing.
Bobby Tittle.
Yeah, absolutely. He's a big time. He supports the kids and what's going on, and the weight room's new. Coach Weaver and Coach Caitlin and Miss Millsap's she's a miss. I don't think she's married. Miss Millsap's daughter.
Oh, well, no, one of them's not.
Anyway, they got a good staff. And then Coach Henderson for football. And of course, you have Josh over there helping out with football and baseball, guys. Things are really going good for them.
I asked those girls, said, y'all glad to be helping Brad? And Brad will admit this.
No,
he said that was the first thing he did.
Yeah.
Funny note.
No, he said.
Tara Blanchard's prom day.
Yes, yeah.
Today.
Well, they said the first thing he did when he got that softball job was to.
Well, he's got a good team.
He's an offensive line coach.
Yes, he is.
He was a good player. He played there. Now,
I like him.
Yeah, he is. He's a fun interview. If you ever go interview, you can just sit in and do
Salt
this.
of the earth guy.
When we interviewed, we talked an hour before we interviewed, and I mean, he's a good interview. Now, Center Spring Garden, final play. Here's another one I walked off and left. I'm sorry. I done apologize to Miss Ann, Miss Welsh. I'm sorry again. It was 3-0. Center's winning. I'm like, good gracious. Well, I need to go catch the boys' game. They've been playing for an hour. That was the game that went on for 5 hours. I could have just stayed over there and not missed anything of the boys. So anyway, Neely comes up on the last play of the game. She hits a rope to the fence. Bam, bangs it off the fence. Stewart singled in the 6th on the first pitch. She had scored 1 to tie the game at 3, and Brown hits a double. There you go. Neely bounces one off the fence, scores a run. I missed that one too.
Okay.
There's nothing.
Bad timing.
Who else should do at this point that was surprising?
Yeah. Okay. So Abby Stewart is not only a 3-point assassin. I heard she's an unbelievable pitcher.
Oh yeah, man.
Very good baseball player.
Probably. I'm not going to say better than one or other, but she can pitch it, buddy. I'm going to tell you. People talk about her. I mean, people. Other schools.
She's legit pitcher.
Other schools, like when I'm talking to them, they question me like, how's she doing over there? She doing good? Well, she is. I mean, she's good. She's the real deal.
Well, to Josh's point, Neely is she's all state in 3 sports. I know that. Yeah,
volleyball.
Yep. I know this for a fact.
See, I didn't know she was good at softball.
I know this for a fact because I was on the phone with both coaches. Gadsden State offered Neely at volleyball and basketball. They were going to let her play both, and that's unheard of at that level.
Really?
Yep.
Know
that for a fact because I talked to
now the end of that game. I'll mention these kids too. Nell Lee's daughter, she took the L. She gave up 4 runs, had 3 strikeouts. She pitched 2 innings, and in the 2nd inning, she also had a home run. She's tearing up over there. Spring Garden had no errors again in that game. Haygood, Coley, Lee, Curry, Hill, and Walker all had hits for them.
Matt, I know you don't like me interrupting.
No,
we've got some breaking news. I don't know if this is fake.
Yeah, go ahead and hit it up.
That's
the high school stuff.
Tom Brady's coming back for another year.
Well, they'd made a deal maybe for the 49ers. He wants to retire at home because he watched Joe Montana as a kid. So, what's y'all's reaction to that?
I think it's ridiculous.
Is that true? Or is it?
Well, I heard it yesterday.
I've heard
Tom Brady's going to play for San Francisco?
I've heard rumors that he may be coming back for another year.
Garcia's going to sit on the bench or
what? You got to do
probably.
No, go ahead. No,
whoever, I don't care who's there. They're setting the bench for Tom Brady.
Yes, I
I got him to start Green Bay.
No, he wouldn't start Green Bay.
Yeah.
What was the final 8 to
That's right now.
Mm-hmm.
Hey, who y'all think is a better quarterback, Tom Brady or Aaron Rodgers?
I don't even want to discuss Aaron Rodgers.
Tom's better. I mean, just statistically.
That's terrible, isn't it?
Statistically.
I don't like it.
Aaron Rodgers is the most talented quarterback to ever play.
But I think I kind of like Aaron maybe a little, probably not personally, but I mean, they have both got their quirks.
I think Aaron Rodgers is mechanically the best quarterback ever, but he's been in the wrong place at the wrong time.
Mm-hmm.
And
he's a great quarterback.
I love Green Bay to death, but they are
he's probably better than Brady.
They are horrible at drafting.
Mechanic-wise.
Yeah, he threw a frozen rope running sideways across the field. I mean, some of the throws that I've seen him make are just unbelievable.
Well, he makes too many good throws, and when he has a bad game, like in the playoffs, they pretty much say, "Well, he didn't want to be there." You know.
We have to.
Of course, it was snow.
Let me finish with this.
Was it not?
The high school before we disarm high school. Of course, we already know that Spring Gardens won another county tournament. The boys won again. Cherokee County Warriors varsity, thanks to a big fourth inning, a 5-run inning lead. Spring Garden Panthers to an 8-2 victory Saturday. Pope, Welsh, and Bates each drove in runs during the game. Spring Garden varsity Panthers got on board in the first inning. Welsh had grounded out, scoring 1 run. Goins was on the mound for Spring Garden varsity, and he's just throwing the ball.
He's great.
He's just smoking up there. He can do about anything.
Well, he probably didn't give up 3 hits.
He surrendered 2 runs on 3 hits over 5 innings. This is Landon Goins. Y'all know Landon. Wilson was on the hill for center. Connor, he was on the hill. Wilson lasted 3 innings, allowing 2 hits, 3 runs while striking out 4. Scott threw into the last innings to relieve the game. Weinstead, Bates, Wells each collected 1 hit to lead the Spring Garden Panthers. And new coach Cole Murphy, shout out to him. Notice this is young man. Congratulations, Spring Garden boys, on winning the county tournament.
As good a pitchers we've had around here.
And
I saw him pitch twice, once against center and once in the 3rd round of the state playoffs, and he's given up 6 hits in like 14 innings.
Yeah, it's like, shout out to Keaton. I'm sure he's watching. Killgrove.
He was a good ball player.
Keaton was great. Levi Mintz. We had Cedar Bluff,
Yes,
Curtis
sir.
Abernathy, Bubba
Spring
Dixon.
Garden just wins.
Well, it's got to be a culture thing now, and
And
the ball was
there's-
rolling.
Josh Decker was a good
Absolutely, Josh was. He could hit too.
Carlos is a good pitcher.
Jacob's good.
I think Goins is.
Did you ever get a chance to see
He's
Sam
More
Duck throw?
steady.
No, but we've heard he's doing well at LSU.
Yeah, said he closed the game out the other day. Is that right?
Probably.
I think he pitched the last 2 innings off.
I could see, yeah.
I mean, if you're throwing the high 90s and controlled,
He
you
may,
should
I
close
think
the
he
game
may
out.
be one of the better pitchers I've seen in person.
Yeah.
Just all around.
Move it down a little. Yes.
But now Goins is tough.
He's
don't
very-
don't hit him.
Here's the deal.
I
He's
had
very
a chance to
consistent.
Get out and watch him.
Tell and
It's
this
very
is
interesting.
testament to their school. Tell me a sport that Spring Garden lacks.
Cornhole.
Nah, they don't play
I'm serious,
cornhole.
man. Boys or girls? Boys or girls?
Ah,
Tell me one that you just look at and you're like,
they can improve there a little bit. Yeah, it's become such a thing. It's just like I'll use Alabama again. I mean, it just kind of starts rolling. Like once things start happening, then kids want to be a part of
you
it.
know what that? You know what
Kids
that's
come out of
testament to?
the classroom to your coaches and your families or in that community to say, I trust the coaches. I know Coach Rat's going to do a good job. You know, just for him, for example, Coach Howard.
The coaches trusting coaches.
Yeah, and they all work together. I mean, you see Coach Howard at
Administrators
basketball.
putting athletics, not first, but
It's
They're taking him
important.
serious.
And Coach Cloudis is Coach Cloudis. Well, he was coach. I mean, we've known him for
Right,
how
he's
long?
incredible.
28 years.
Yeah.
He's hilarious.
Yeah, he's
Josh, go ahead.
We got that's the high school stuff now. As far as girls, as far as girls, county baseball. As far as girls, county softball, that's going to be played on another date. Now, I was told, Dean, that they would have to center would have to beat Spring Garden girls twice.
Really?
Yeah, I don't know. It's because they lost to them once, and they have to. I'm not.
So they didn't have a county championship?
No, they couldn't because of the weather, and it got late.
Oh,
So so we're gonna.
I was thinking that game was the county.
No, they'll play it at a later date. So I'll try to.
So Spring Garden had already lost the game, right?
I'll try to relay that to you and to you guys. Y'all can, if y'all ain't doing, I know y'all got 100 other things y'all got going on too. So that'd be fun it may be on a day where everybody could come. Y'all could come out too and check out Spring Garden Center. 2 fantastic girls teams. It'll be for the county championship. They're gonna.
We don't know.
I don't know. They're gonna because of the weather, so they didn't get to finish
I
it.
would say, yeah, because of that blizzard we had.
Oh, it's bad. We were leaving and it just started to get bad.
I mean, it did. It was bad that
Oh,
night.
my
It just
God.
didn't last long.
Yes, Dean. I think we got high school softball and baseball cover the games that we were at,
Mhm.
and there's some other games, but we can't cover every single one of them. So
Now it's their turn. Was they
Yeah.
y'all gonna talk some
Yeah,
high school
he wanted me to
basketball?
kinda take the head on this
Yeah.
tournament.
Well, I don't even know what happened in it. So You'll have to. All we did was report the scores. We don't know many
I took
people.
some notes and things. I mean, is
Good deal.
is that where you want to go?
Yeah.
Yeah, and that top 25 list I give you when you go through that. I'm sorry. When you go through that top 25, I shoot your notes. I'd just like to have your opinions of what y'all think on that list.
Where's that?
On
Top 25 what?
it's on your messenger.
High school team.
But you both, yeah, Reggie has it too. Yes.
Yeah.
Give me a
It's
send.
on our,
Yeah. You sent it to us on this.
I'll send it to you, Dean. You can look at it
Alright.
with us. That's it right there.
This is 1 through 7A, right?
Yes, it's just kind of ranked teams, but you break this down however y'all want to. This is your this is your
I-
show. You take it away.
I'll look. All right. Before I get started, let me look at this for 1 second.
Okay.
You sent it to both Starkey?
Hey, and look, guys, if y'all,
Is this boys or girls?
Now, is this a max preps list?
I don't. It's
Okay.
I found it online.
This is in. All right. It's already messed.
This
Number
is
one
boys.
is completely gone.
Yeah.
Y'all hit the subscribe button. Remember, if you like what you know and what you see and hear with us, guys,
No, I watch.
we appreciate y'all. So y'all hit the subscribe button and stay tuned with us, guys. We got a lot more to go on. Lots and lots of more.
You follow?
I agree with Coleman and Scottsboro.
No.
I mean,
Baker's. No.
Nope, Baker. They didn't. I don't think they made it to the final four, so I don't.
They
see
got
them
eight
number
great-
one.
They got a great player. They got a
Jacksonville
great.
definitely in this top 25, wouldn't you say? Jacksonville High School.
The top 5.
Yeah.
I can promise you they're top 5.
What about Scottsboro?
They're
sure.
very good. I would say Scottsboro's in the top 15. This is hilarious, actually.
Enterprise, definitely, right?
To have Jacksonville at 19, that's all I need to say. I'm going to keep that list. So, go ahead,
What we
Reggie.
talking about?
I'm going to let Reggie say something, and I'm going to get started.
I mean, just looking at this list, like I said, when I saw number one, I said, no,
Nope.
they didn't. I mean, they went on like an 18-game winning streak during the season,
Mhm.
but then got beat in the regionals. McGill Tulin is a great team. They Barry Dunning Jr. I think he's signed with Arkansas. Great player.
Mhm.
They're always in the final four year in and year out. He said it was in Messenger.
It's in that too.
Brady's not on there.
Who?
Like,
Brady?
I mean, they're not in that.
They're a top 25 team. I think
Yeah,
that.
yeah, I would agree.
All right. Let me start. So what we decided to do, and I talked to Matt,
Mhm.
since I went to like 68 of these games, I'm gonna start. And this, I was joking. I went 68 games in 2 weeks.
Oh,
That's
wow.
counting the Northeast Regional. It wasn't even a joke. Like from the Northeast Regionals to all the way through 7A in the final. So I went to the Northeast Regionals all the way to Birmingham. And then y'all can ask questions.
We'll hold our questions till he's done,
Yeah.
and then.
No. Ask them during.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
So we started. So the one thing I will say, I've already in my notes already. Go ahead, Josh.
Oh, no, wait. I'm looking at this list.
They've already like, no, that's wrong. That's crazy. What are they talking
When did they
about?
put this together?
It was last week,
last week.
last
this
couple
is
weeks
after-
ago, probably
After the games were played?
before the finals.
Right
before the finals?
Yeah.
Before the playoffs.
Okay.
Or the state tournament.
Yes,
Regionals, I would think.
Okay.
and that would probably change a lot
No,
of things.
so they've got they got Jacksonville at 19. Okay.
Yes, the whole state.
I think Jacksonville can play with some 6, 8, and 7.
Do you think
Let
they're
me go to the
top
restroom
five?
before we get started.
I
Y'all
would
go
take
ahead and chat.
Jacksonville to play with all these teams.
Yeah.
There's a couple of them they wouldn't. There's only about 4 of them they wouldn't.
I agree with Jacksonville for sure. Huffman, Enterprise,
Now, Mountain Brook. What
Park
about
Crossing.
Mountain
Not a
Brook?
whole lot of Northeast regionals up here, are there?
No, there's not. There's not.
Vestavia
That's
Hills.
one thing.
Sparkman,
The
Jacksonville.
fact that the Northeast regional team pretty much dominated the state tournament.
16
And
and 4.
But they're not on this
yeah,
list.
they
Well, you can right in the top
I
right
mean-
corner is who that's made by. If you can see that logo,
not
That's-
sure who that
that's
is.
where I got it from.
Okay. And that's something I'm sure Bo will probably bring up too. But the Northeast Regional, there was a article written. I'm not going to say by who, but they kind of did an article leading up to the state tournament, and they had players to watch out for.
Mm-hmm.
And I think there was one player from the Northeast Regional that was even mentioned.
Mm-hmm.
And then the state tournament starts. The Northeast Regional teams go in and pretty much dominate the whole entire state tournament. And And to me, the best basketball in the state of Alabama is being played in Northeast Alabama.
Yeah.
And they get zero love from the statewide media.
You know,
Hands down, I've seen some of the best basketball played by Northeast regional teams.
what you have, Jacksonville section, Plainview,
I mean, several teams. There were several teams that won state championships, and teams in
Pittsburgh.
the Northeast get no love.
Now this is a 7A to 4A team, but 7 to 4A schools.
Okay.
But I could take I'm not gonna say who it is, but there's a 3A boys team that could beat half these teams.
They could beat more than half.
More than that, I think.
And they have beat more than half.
Yeah.
Yeah, they play a tough schedule.
All right. So here's what we're gonna do. So I went to these tournament games, whatever. Y'all ask questions off of what I'm saying. I'm just gonna start running through 1A all the way up to 7A girls and boys because I've laid eyes on all these teams.
Okay.
So y'all ask questions off that now. And I had in my notes here to talk about Matt Township, and I wanted to open up with that because I thought that was huge what y'all are doing.
Yes, sir.
Considering
Thank you.
Yeah,
The
appreciate it.
lack of what's going on around the state.
I didn't realize that.
All right, so
No.
the first thing in my notes right here is Northeast Regional's domination in this tournament, and it has been for years. And this year was no different because if you look at it this way, at one point in the state finals tournament in Birmingham, the Northeast Regional was 16-4 at one point in this tournament. Think about that.
Wow, 16-4.
Before the tournament started, we were on Messenger.
Yep.
And I said, I will take a all-star Northeast regional team up against any other all-star.
On either side, girls or boys.
Yes. And I will still, as a matter of fact, I'll double down on that.
They'll be okay with it.
Now, what Josh is saying is true. Here's the scary part about that. They were 16-4. This is girls and boys combined at one point in this tournament.
Wow.
Here's the scary part. When you go look between the numbers and see the state champions and all that, it was no fluke because the two teams that had lost at that point, two of the three was on absolute buzzer beaters. Plainview's girls had lost by 10 or so.
Yeah, but it
They were
was
the
close.
youngest team ever.
Yeah.
And then you had one team that had lost by 5.
Skyline.
Skyline was a buzzer beater, I think.
Oh,
No. This was before Skyline's game.
Oh.
So it would even they were almost minus Plainview girls. They literally could have been
19, 20-0.
and won.
Or 19-1. Yeah.
Right? They had one team lose by 5, and I can't remember who it was. All right, so now let's break this thing down 1 through 7A, starting with the girls. 1A girls, Northeast Regional was Skyline. They won by double digits both games. They were cruising. Coach McCarver said in their press conference at the Final Four, he goes, "We're not dialed in. We're not playing good." They won by 20 in the Final Four or 15, something like that. And he goes, "We're not." He said, "We're not doing what we're supposed to do. We're not doing what we did last year that we won a state championship." He goes, "I just don't feel real comfortable." He said this in the press conference, and a lot of the reporters when we walked out of that room, they was like, "This dude's just
That's out there. isn't it?
he's being arrogant." But then he come back in there when they lost.
Nick Saban type stuff.
It was very Nick Saban
I mean, it is, you know.
because he walked when we walked in there and they lost in the championship game to Mary County, who they beat the year before. He said he brought it home and he said, "What did I tell y'all when I was in here?" He's like, "We're not focused. We didn't listen." And people look up at the scoreboard and they say we win by 15 or 20 and they think everything's okay. It's not okay.
Yeah, that can happen in basketball.
So now I'm gonna throw an X factor.
Yeah, they just kind of freak out.
Marion County's Eric Colt,
Colt.
who was the MVP. She out rebounded Skyline by herself.
Wow. Now Skyline's good. I
She
mean, they're
had
always
23
quality.
rebounds to Skyline's 21 by herself.
How you do that?
And they won the game, and Erin Colt went on to win the MVP, and she is a ball player. But now Skyline's not going nowhere. They got everybody back basically. The Stuckey sisters are back. Kinsey Manning's back. Coach McCarver's not going nowhere. Obviously,
no, he's good.
They actually beat. Here's a fun fact for no. Everybody don't even realize this. They beat Pisgah this year in the county tournament.
First game of the year, right?
Early. I don't know if it's the first game.
I thought it was Pisgah's first game. I may be wrong.
They beat
Pisgah had 2 losses. That was one of them.
Yeah.
Wow.
So that'll tell you how good they are.
Yeah.
So then you go to the 1A side, and it is what it is. Decatur Heritage lost. Braden
Very
Kyle,
good team.
they lost to a very good team.
Mhm.
Braden Kyle's a warrior. When they beat Faith Christian in Jacksonville, here's what I liked about Decatur Heritage, and I made a post on this on Average Joe's. You can go look at it. By the time they won it and shook hands, before they would even walk back and interview, they broke down at midcourt and gave a prayer out. And it wasn't one of those breeze through it, just say the Lord's Prayer. No.
Yeah.
They said, win or lose. And their coach said this. He said, win or lose, we're giving the glory to God, period.
That's always a good thing. You can't go wrong.
And I'm not,
Go ahead.
before I say this, I'm not trying to bring any glory to myself because I saw that on something. But I coached a middle school team this year, and we always say that prayer, but it's just like, and the kids try to say it as fast as they can.
That's right.
Our Father who art in heaven, hallowed.
Yeah.
And I'm like, no, I'm just going to pray.
That's right.
And I'm not a good prayer,
That's right.
but it's better than just going through the motion.
That's right. He broke it down, and they legit broke it down because I was standing beside him because the lady told me to lead them into the back till we do the interviews.
Right.
And I made a post about it, how special that was after a big win like
Right.
that, not to just rush through it.
Let me tell you who breaks it down really well after a game. I don't know his name. It's whoever says a prayer for 5 football.
Preacher.
Preacher?
They call him Preacher.
Yeah, the old guy.
Hey, he'll get to preaching after a game.
The Packer,
Hey,
the guy that wore the
Yeah.
Packers hat.
Yep.
Yeah.
No. He's talking about Preacher, the one with the glasses shaped head.
He lets out
okay.
a yell after his prayer.
Yeah, he goes, woo! Yeah. They call him Preacher. His name's Preacher. Josh is correct on that.
And the way the fight, it's totally off subject, but the way they come out of the tunnel and immediately take a knee around him,
Oh, yeah. I always like
just-
that.
I got chills right now.
Yeah. Well, I think it's awkward to kids at first, but over time, I think they'll
Oh,
get
yeah, they get ball
used to
in.
it.
Yeah, Coach Paul's got them lined up. No,
Yeah.
1A. So
Well,
1A boys
So
win
1A
there.
boys, Covington Christian won it. Hastings Alexander 16 guy. They
Now, where is this at?
Do what?
Where is it at? Covington.
They're in Tuskegee.
Oh, okay.
No, Tuscumbia.
Tuscumbia.
Yep. So they had. Here's a funny fact about Hastings Alexander. Tinker from Pisgah's
Yes.
first cousin.
16.
How about that?
Yep.
What?
And yep, that's true.
6. Oh, I remember seeing the time. It's a
And
big,
then-
tall kid. Looks
Yep,
like he's got
he's
7-foot
16.
arms.
And then Reed Trapp.
Oh, man, he's
16 on 1A school.
Yep. And then
Yeah.
Reed Trapp, the shooting guard on that same team, is 6'5". But here's a funny fact: Decatur Heritage was leading at halftime. They battled them. They were hitting threes and stuff and was leading at halftime. All right, so now we roll over to 2A. 2A is a Northeast Regional dominant. Pisgah stepped up. Obviously, Pisgah won their 5th championship in a row.
That's, 5 in a row. I mean, these girls never,
I didn't know they won.
yeah, it's 5 in a
They won
row,
5
man.
in a row.
Yeah, these
Coach
girls
Ellis-
never lost.
Hey, he won 3 3As, and then they moved them down because of their enrollment. They moved
Okay,
down.
moved them up.
So here's what people don't realize. Last year,
How you getting moved?
well, here's what people don't realize is last year when Ace and them played them, they were in 1A, and they got moved up because of enrollment. They had one class with 68 people in that spring garden class, which moved them to 2A. All right, Pisgah had been 3A for, I don't know,
Yeah,
20 years.
as long as I can think.
Then
Yeah.
they moved down to 2A. So they met in the Northeast Regional Finals where Ace had 28 points and played them. And if Callie Tinker didn't hit that 3-point, they would go into overtime. It's over.
Mhm.
But Tinker hit a 3-pointer to send the game into overtime, which Pisgah won. That was last year.
Having Spring Garden and Pisgah be in the same classification is not fair.
I was going to ask y'all, and I don't know if any state does it, but is there any state in the United States that their athletic association punishes you for being great? I mean, you got to move up.
Well,
Not
private
unless
go on
competitive
any-
balance. No.
private schools here are supposed to because of the points. If you win a state, you're
Well,
supposed to,
Well,
Okay.
there's ways around it.
Yeah.
Well,
I'm like Josh. I mean, come on, 3 straight 3As, and you're going to go play 2A? Can somebody step in there and say, this ain't happening?
that ain't right.
That's right. Now, here's the funny part about that. So
I mean,
they play again this year,
Mhm.
and here's the scary part about it. The 6A championship game was Oxford
no, I know.
versus Hazel Green.
Yeah.
Dude, Spring Garden had waxed them twice this year.
Yeah, we went to that one game. That was a good game.
Hey, we got look at that. We got a live
Watch
feed.
this.
Hey, who's these guys? A bunch of losers. Yeah.
So
Well,
then,
just leave it on there, I guess. I'll give 'em
so
a
then
moniker.
you go down
It's behind a little
the
bit.
3A championship game
Mhm.
down to the finals. Spring Garden beat them by 20 something in the open tournament.
Yeah.
They beat Susan Moore by 20 something.
Oh yeah, I
I
heard.
mean, we were at the Oxford game. I was there. It was.
Right?
It was a good game.
You was there. You
Pisgah
brought your
beat Dashler.
buddy.
19-3.
Brought
Pisgah
your
beat
friends that
Dashler.
day.
Pisgah
Yeah.
beat. I mean, Pisgah beat all of them.
Spring
So
Garden
this was only
girls
Pisgah.
beat
Thanks, son.
Oxford, who played for the 6A
Right.
state championship.
That played decent,
Beat
didn't
them
it?
twice.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So I'm sitting here and I'm like, these two teams can beat anybody. Right?
Oh yeah.
So, all right. So then 2A boys, you already know that's section.
Mm-hmm.
When
Now,
section, I told
I didn't
sections
know.
go. Well, here's the deal about it.
And let's not forget about Sandrock. Probably the third best team in state.
And dude, they got beat
Oh,
by
girl, yeah.
30. Sandrock got beat by 30 by sections boys. Think about that. As good as Sandrock was, they were down 40 at one point.
I had no idea. I mean, I didn't. I'm talking to Coach Rapp before the girls played, and they're playing midfield. I said, well, this may not be interesting. I think midfield may get them. Coach Rapp said, no. I said, really? And I wasn't going to argue. I mean, like, he knows more than me. And he said, no, section's probably going to win this. I was like, really? I need to watch this then. Okay. I mean, I take his word for it. Okay. He knows way more than I
But
do.
now midfield blew a 20-point lead, right?
Now, let me tell you
Against
this.
North
I don't
St.
think
Mountain.
that-
Against section.
Oh, I don't
think
know.
that was up 20.
No, I thought
I'd
I
heard
don't
it.
know.
That was
Now we
I don't
were
know.
doing the interviews with
Coach Wynn, let me tell you this about Coach Wynn. They got 10 seniors on that section team. 10 seniors.
on which team?
Section.
The boys.
10 wins.
Wow.
10 seniors. Now, this was all
Wow,
of
that'd
us with them.
that'd
I'm
be
going to
tough.
tell you something. When they beat midfield in that Northeast Regional, that was the state championship game.
Right.
I agree. I watched section in the regional semifinal, and honestly, up to that, at that point, they were one of the best shooting teams I've seen all year. I was just amazed at the discipline, the way they played the game. They're very well disciplined, very well coached. I mean, and then when you have a player in your team that's pretty much like your mascot, I mean, I also saw the best mullet, the best
Oh,
mullet
God.
from section, and I was
Aaron.
like, Aaron, was it Walter?
Yeah, Aaron Walsh.
Oh my God.
Are you kidding me?
I've seen a
He
lot of
can't be
mullets.
touched. If I
Really?
tell you a mullet can't be touched, you better touch him.
Now is he a good ball player?
He's a good ball
Yeah.
player. He
He's
don't
a
play
good ball
much,
player.
bro.
Oh, we don't know. We were looking at the
We're
mullet.
looking at the mullet.
Let's talk
So
about
when
his
he
hair.
came on the
Talk
court,
about the hair.
I was just stuck. I was like, it's like he's the mascot. It's the Lions mate. I mean, it
Yeah.
was great.
Look, I hate to say this.
Mullets are back.
Yeah,
We do sports videos, but our highest
I know.
watched video
I know.
is the mullet video.
It is.
is.
The ones that you
Is that
did
not hilarious?
when
Yeah.
when we were coming hanging around. It was the kid from Ohatchee.
Aiden Simpson.
Elias.
No, the quarterback. Good gracious,
Eli
Enos.
Enos.
When he
Enos.
came and he picked his hair out and he had his hair out, and then the other kid from Southside maybe had that video had thousands of views.
Oh yeah.
Thousands.
Oh,
Kids
yeah.
love that stuff. But anyway, sorry.
So the 3A side, down in the championship game, it was Plainview.
Well,
It was Plainview or bust. You already knew Plainview was.
It was theirs to lose.
That's right.
Yeah.
And they went down there and did what they supposed to do. And for the first time ever, he didn't have to hit a buzzer beater to win a state. It's complete domination.
all right, we're going to switch
11-3.
gears here. Applecast, and we'll continue up on the next feed. So y'all click on over, and Average Joe's, Bo, Reggie, and Josh are going to finish up high school stuff, and then we'll talk a little NFL. And Dean's got college basketball, so y'all come back on the other spot.
Let me know you want me to keep rolling.
Save.
He's just getting off that. It cuts off.
An hour. That's all it gives you.
Okay.
Add this. Go to tools. Go to mic. Hey, what's up? We're back. Average Joe's in the house. We're going to continue talking with the guys. They're breaking down 3A through 7A now, high school. Dean's got college basketball to go, and we're going to mention a little NFL stuff. And breaking news was Tom Brady may be going to the 49ers. So, Mr. Boss, go ahead.
You heard it here third.
Yes, that's
All right,
right.
here we go.
We did break Bo Nick's story going to Oregon on live there that night.
So where I knew 3A boys was Plainview's to lose. They rolled, won it. You know, first time they didn't have to hit a buzzer beater to win it. Funny story is Cole Milliken, who's the point guard for Plainview now. His brother was the guy who hit the the previous 2 buzzer
Two.
beaters.
Now, are they a heavy senior team this
No.
year? No.
Got 3 seniors and only one of them's no, 2 of them's a starter. One of them's like a dog, so to speak, and then one guy didn't play hardly much at all.
Well, there you go, Dan.
I don't even know if there's any shame in that.
No.
You
Now,
may be great.
now on the girls'
Never
side,
get touched. Never get touched.
the
Court.
girls' side of 3A was a little bit different. Prattville Christian was number 1 all year.
I don't know nothing about
And
that.
they walked the dog all
No,
year.
lost one. Who was their one loss, Bo?
Trinity Presbyterian. I think it was in the area championship game, maybe,
Yeah.
or towards the end of the season. But
Yeah.
it was late in the year
I
before
know
they
they
finally
only
lost.
lost
But another private
Yeah.
school around that
Yeah.
area,
Yeah.
Prattville, Montgomery area.
Now, Susan Moore,
They're
Coach
good.
Smallwood, and her
Mhm.
daughters,
Oh yeah.
both her daughters, are unbelievable. But Callie Smallwood's unstoppable.
Hmm.
I know there's a lot of people that turned that game off, but if you stayed with it,
Mm-hmm.
it was amazing.
Was that down 18 or 16?
I want to say 18.
They come back. make it
18,
close.
18 late in the third.
Mhm.
And they
Wow.
come
That's a-
storming back
That's a lot of points.
and tied it up and went into OT and lost in OT. They had no answer for Callie Smallwood. And that's
Wow.
Coach's daughter. And Lainey Smallwood is her sister, who's the point guard. Now, that's 3A. So let's go over into 4A. You knew this. You knew this. You knew this. You knew this.
Mhm.
The only team that's beat Jacksonville would have been Jacksonville.
Yeah. Oh yeah. We watched them. We
Is
watched,
Is everybody here agree with that?
yes.
I agree.
Yeah. We watched them play. They played center,
I
and
mean,
Coach
center wasn't bad.
Coach
Hey,
Hayes was like, they got
30
something else
points.
going on. The brothers and the yeah.
Bro, let me tell you something. They are the only team that can beat them.
Yeah.
And let me say this, going into the year, a lot of people that are casual fans might have thought that they were a one-person team.
Mm-hmm. With the big guy.
With Cade,
Yeah.
Phillips,
Mm-hmm.
that was not the case at all.
Mm.
You got the twins, John Broom, Julian,
I wished I'd saw him play. I did not see him play.
and then you've got a sophomore, Devin Barksdale.
No, he's a freshman, Josh.
God, he put in some meaningful minutes in the state championship game, and he's a freshman.
And
So
they went 30-4. Did they? Was that their record?
I believe so.
31. They went
Yeah.
up there.
They're going to be good for a while, I think.
Wow. They were good back in the mid-90s. Do you remember that?
Yep. So here's the thing about them that's really scary. You got the 2 twins,
Uh-huh.
all right? The Johnson twins, Cade and Cameron.
Mm-hmm.
Then you got Cade Phillips, who came over. And
Mm-hmm.
then Josh pre-mentioned Devin Barstow as a freshman. The best player, and I said this to people at the tournament, and they laughed at me.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm telling you this. I got laughed at by other media outlets and people who work for the ASHA. I said the best overall complete basketball player in this tournament is John Brew.
Mm-hmm.
And I got laughed at
Now, he
until
was
they
the
come out
guy
on the floor.
Right.
that when they needed a basket,
He just made it.
yeah, he was. He's got a complete all-around game. He can shoot
Did-
threes.
did he
has
play
mid-range
football?
game.
Todd,
Oh,
no,
gosh.
Todd, I never went to watch them play this season.
Mm-hmm.
Where up until the state finals, where he didn't score 30,
Really?
where he
Wow.
didn't score 30.
He's rebounding. He's a great defender.
But he's not their big name, right?
He's not.
You would say Cade's their big name because he's the 4-star.
Mhm.
But here's the deal.
I lost the other camera. That's what. Y'all keep going.
No, you go ahead and work what you got to do.
Just keep talking. We're still live. I'm feeling that camera there. It went off. It ended with you doing this. You're going like slow motion. It was too much bow for the camera.
Wait, you tell me, man.
Keep
Whatever you
going.
gotta do.
No, I'll work on it while you're talking.
But I never not seen him score 30.
Wow.
And I'm sitting here and saying,
When your
dude,
fourth guy can score 30, you're probably going to be pretty good.
that's what they're thinking.
Yeah.
I think he is.
And see, that's not
You get that
taking away
many
anything from Cade.
points
Cade's
off the bench.
phenomenal
Jesus.
player. As a matter of fact, what he did, and I've got a picture. We've got a picture posted of him. blocking a shot. His elbow is at the rim, and his fingertips are at the square,
Over
the top
the
of the square.
Wow.
I mean, if you went in, he had 11 blocks in one game.
Yep. And he only played. I think he had 11 blocks in 20 minutes.
I think you win, and I don't know if y'all ever thought about it like this, but I think you win when you're 4 and 5. You know, if you have 3 stars, a lot of teams don't win, and they'll be like, "Well, how did they lose it? Their coach must be an idiot." It's probably because the 4 and 5 aren't that
Everybody's
good.
got a really, really good player. Most times, especially when you get deep into playoffs. But you're 3, 4, and 5.
Yes.
How are they?
Yes. You're
And
exactly right.
Jacksonville was.
And they're loaded, right?
Right.
They were good 3 or 4 deep off the bench.
Right.
Another thing about John Broome, I don't know if anybody knows, he actually went on a visit to Clemson last weekend with him and Cage Phillips. So I think his stock is starting to rise.
Don't tell me.
Yeah,
He did.
they got offered him too.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
So here's the deal. Their starting lineup.
Mm-hmm.
You got Cade Phillips, 6'9". The Johnson twins are 6'5", 6'6". They're both like right in that range. And Broome 6'5".
Wow.
All right, and then Julian was about 6 foot, maybe 6'1". But then Julian played part time with that freshman Devin Barstow, who's been featured on a national page before for his shooting and how he plays. So that's Jackson in a nutshell, and they walk the dog. The one that
You got
state championship
Quintavious who comes in and is just. I compared him to the Ultimate Warrior. He comes in there. He's a one-man press.
Yeah.
Yep.
They got 7 good ones, huh?
Yeah, they're all back
Every one of them?
except for Julian. I mean, the rest of them's back. So now here we go. Dashler girls 4A yard units.
They lost 1 game.
That's right. You knew that. I think that loss was to Pisgah. I'm almost positive.
Oh, come on.
I could be lost.
That's a
I could
safe
be wrong.
bet.
I could be wrong, but I know Pisgah beat 2 or 3 state champions this year.
Wow.
Outside that, but I could be wrong on that. But I think it was Pisgah.
Pisgah's going down to 1. That's it.
Well, hey, Spring Garden really is.
Yes, they are. Yeah, we knew that. But
Just
for,
for Spring Garden and Skyline. So
for,
now
for
let's move
football,
over to 5A.
for football, it's going to be hard for Spring Garden by the
The
last.
5A girls.
No gate money.
These guys right here, and y'all seen the Sardis push we gave.
Yes.
They look like a team of destiny.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
A lot of people don't know this. Before that regional championship game at JSU, unfortunately, hours before, like at 3 a.m.,
Oh,
Jada
yeah.
Lack's house burnt to the ground.
Yeah, every time.
3 starters had a stomach virus, and they were out. They played, but they hadn't slept the night before.
Yeah, that's hard.
I had that stomach bug. I don't know how they
It's the same stomach bug that you had, that Will had, but they played, but they were up sick, throwing up, and using the restroom all night. Now, now if they were all 100% healthy, I still don't think they're going to beat Gunnersville because Gunnersville was a mission.
Yeah, they won.
But it would have been a fun game to watch.
Yeah.
Now, Gunnersville was not supposed to win this state championship.
Mm-hmm.
They were a huge underdog. But Olivia Vandergriff, who's obviously huge on our show, she's the MVP. She did her part. Ivy Marsh did her part. Tazi Harris, the big girl in the center, did her part. But if you look at this team, you can name all these names you want. It don't matter offensively what they did because they were dogs defensively.
Really?
Dogs.
Kind of like Tennessee.
Bro, they held.
Basketball
Hey,
right
look, y'all seen what we did with Sardis and how good they were? They held Sardis to 12.
Really?
12.
Not one girl. The entire Sardis team.
They scored 12 points the whole night.
No,
the whole night.
They had
That's
4 in
impossible.
the first, 4 in the third, 4 in the fourth. Held them to 0 points in the second quarter.
They held Sardis to 12 in the Northeast
We're
Regional
talking about teams
Championship
average
match.
6.
No, they
Oh,
were.
God, yes.
No, they weren't sick that night.
Yes.
They were sick that
Oh,
That was-
okay.
It don't matter if they're sick. They still got girls on the bench.
Yeah.
They held them to
12.
12.
Probably that coach was after somebody next day at practice.
Think
I
about
mean, I know
that.
you ain't feeling good. You lose your starters, but
Think about
that's
that.
just amazing. It is.
But that travels, and then you put a dog like Olivia Vandergriff on the court
Mm-hmm.
who can create her own shot versus anybody in the state.
Mm-hmm.
And then you get what you got. You get a state championship. Kenny Hill is their coach.
That's hard to believe.
Outstanding coach, man. Great defensive coach. And he said, he said, I knew we'd be there defensively. I don't know if we'd score enough points, but they scored enough points. And then, I hate to talk about this, Reggie, but we got to. 5A boys.
Yeah.
Ramsey. It was Ramsey.
A 1-4 game, right?
It's Ramsey's championship.
Mm-hmm.
Carrington killed in the first half.
They're
Halfway through the second
I've
quarter.
seen them play. They are good.
Halfway through the second quarter, he had 16 points and 7 rebounds
Throw down.
and got kicked out of the game.
That made no
He got
sense.
his second
Did
take.
y'all see the second technical? Have you seen it?
Mm-hmm.
Yes, I'm.
The first technical, him and another guy bumped into each other coming up the court. I don't know if I would call it technical, but here's my deal on technicals. I'm going to blow the whistle and I'm going to bring both parties involved over on any technical and say, hey, chill out.
Especially in a state championship game.
Right.
Yeah, you just
Now,
teach him up.
That's on any technical.
Mm-hmm.
All right. On the second technical, which is what Josh is talking about, 100 out of 100 times, I would blow the whistle and pull the parties involved in and say, hey, shut your mouth. You've already got one technical. Let's play ball.
I don't even know that I would have blown the whistle on that.
What happened?
Okay, here's what happened. On the first technical, he scored a basket and he's high. He's running down court, and this guy comes at him and they bump into each other. They throw a double team.
Mm-hmm.
On the second one, he scores a basket. He gets bumped while he's scoring. They don't call foul. He comes down. He goes, and one. He's running back.
flexing on them, just doing
Yeah, he's just saying, and one.
what they see in college that they don't get called for.
Where somebody said, and one.
Yeah.
The guy calls a T, throws him out of the game.
Now,
He's got 16 points and 7
Yeah,
rebounds
you
halfway
can't-
through the second quarter. They're winning by 7 when he goes out, and they're fisting to kill this
Sounds
thing.
like a
here's the thing: we don't know.
setup.
We don't know what would have
Yeah, why
happened.
would you do that?
But to do that in a state championship game, it's just
That's not fair to either team.
no.
No.
And this is a true story, and Matt's heard it 100 times. He won't hear it again. But our superintendent was a real good high school player. In the county championship his senior year, him and a guy were fighting for position down low, and I saw it with my own eyes. The ref, and they may have been jawing. He threw him out.
You know, he's talking about
He
Cam's
blew the
dad,
whistle.
Mr.
And said,
Welch,
you're both gone right now.
and he was going
First
against.
quarter.
He's going against Eric
First
Horton.
quarter.
Yeah.
Now, Eric Horton was a super athlete here in the county. Wound up pitching minor league ball for the Blue Jays. God rest his soul. I grew up meeting in his house, and we all played together. He got killed years ago on a motorcycle. He raced motorcycles, like semi-pro stuff. Well, they were locked up. They were locked up down on the court, and they're just pushing each other.
They were. I mean, they were
I
playing
mean, there
right.
was no warning.
No,
You're gone. Both of
both of
you.
you
Get
get it.
out.
We ain't putting up with that tonight. Gone.
Yep.
Now, this is
One
1980,
technical.
86.
86.
One technical, and he's out.
No, they didn't even get the technical.
This is
They
1986.
just
Just
threw him
blew
out.
the whistle.
Just
Throw
sit
him
your
out.
cum. Get out of here.
Both of y'all.
Is that legal?
You want to stand here and fight with each other? Get out of my face.
No. There's no way they could get away with that.
This is 1986, though. What you used to, man,
But-
Michael Jordan was getting clothesline in the
Stuff
lane
goes
in
on
86.
like that.
He
But-
ain't getting nearly hard as no.
I
Yeah,
hate Michael Jordan.
yeah. But what I'm saying is the point that
That happened.
basketball was played, it was really tough back then. I mean, so anyway, that didn't. Oh, was it a done deal?
It's done. He is going to. He's staying at Tampa Bay.
That's why you hit the subscribe button. Subscribe right here. All right, Bo, carry on.
No comment.
So
Sorry, actually.
they look, PJ Davis and those other guys when Carrington Kill went out, they stepped up. They played their tails off, and they actually had the lead with 5 seconds left,
Wow.
and a timeout was called, and they ended up losing at the buzzer.
Now,
Oh.
Carrington Kill had the opportunity to show his rump, which I probably would have, but
I
he
would've.
didn't. He didn't show his rump.
No, I read that. I already come back out.
He
Oh, yeah.
He got on the bench and cheered his team on the best he could. Did everything he could.
That's what you're supposed to do.
Yes.
Well, you always hear excuses of
I
why your
wanted to
team
make a
lost in the
post
state
on Average
championship.
Joe's about that, and I thought it wasn't right, so I made it on my personal.
Yes,
so
I
when
saw
the
it.
attack
Yep.
came, I would take the attacks myself instead of the channel advertising. But the attacks never came.
No. One thing, meeting Ramsey coach and senior players at the regional, because I didn't get to make it to the state tournament. But first class program. I mean, you will not find a better coach, better kids. I mean, first class all
Tell
the
them
way.
what you tell them about their academics.
Oh,
listen to this. I didn't know this.
A lot of people probably don't know this. Ramsey is one of the top academic schools in the state of Alabama. You have to, it's a Birmingham City school. In order to, you can't just enroll at Ramsey. You have to apply.
Oh.
It's a IB school, which is the International Baccalaureate. So you have to apply, and if you don't have the grades and character and whatnot, you're not getting it. So
I had no idea.
Huh?
What part of Birmingham is it?
I think it's only. I think the school itself is somewhere on the south side. From what I've heard.
Ramsey is near 5 points.
Helena,
Ramsey's near 5 points.
Yeah.
McAdory, or
It's near 5 points downtown.
not McAdory, Bessemer.
You know where 5 points
Yes.
is? The studio and all that?
Yeah.
It's like blocks from there.
Yeah,
Okay.
it's in the downtown area. Like I said, first class program, first class kids. I mean, Ramsey's one of my favorite teams now.
Right.
You know,
You're a
Once I
fan.
found that out, yeah.
yeah.
Coach
To see-
Ward from Huffman's wife is the girls' coach there who lost in the regionals. Hey, buddy, it takes a lot to make me cry, but when she was in there interviewing her girls and she started crying, I was like,
Dude, the Neely,
please.
when Neely came in with Coach, oh, man,
Oh, that was rough.
I tried to ask a good question like, what positive have you taken away from this? And she's like, she couldn't even say nothing. I'm like, all right, I'm done. I can't.
Yeah.
Everybody in there was like, I was cutting grass, man. I got dirt in my.
I saw her the other night. Was like joking around, like, you over that loss yet? And I realized, I'm like, I might not ought to kid her about that.
No, she's serious. She's
I was.
she's
And I
competitive.
apologized to her, and she's like, oh, it ain't no big deal.
I knew she'd be ready to swing the bat.
We're gonna roll through these next two because there's ain't our forte. We're more, I say, smaller S.
Yeah.
We're 1 through 3 here, right
Yeah.
here.
So,
We like
so,
four.
so
4A.
6A girls, you have to give credit to Melissa Bennett and what she's doing at Oxford.
Oh yeah,
Oh, man, she's
Yeah.
good.
yeah. We enjoyed
Yeah,
watching her
I mean,
coach when they come to Spring
it's
Garden.
just like,
Now, y'all talking about players, coach. She's a player.
She looks like
man.
she was a player when she
Yeah.
played at one time.
Yeah.
It
Oh, yeah.
seems to me that way.
I never heard her yell at those girls.
Not really.
She took over there. They were just horrible.
In a bad
She
shape.
just adjusted. I mean, they just did what they had to do when they had to do it. Now, they actually got back in that game. Spring Garden was drilling,
They was beating them by 20.
and she never panicked.
They
No.
talked about that game at regionals. They
Yes.
were like, they were talking about not panicking, and they talked about being down 20 at Spring Garden.
We were very impressed
Dude,
with her.
She
Spring
wasn't
Garden. Listen to what we're saying. A
Uh-huh.
2A team, a 6A championship game team is down by 20 to a
Yeah.
2A team.
Might as well
That
be
tells you
a
about
1A.
the girls in this region.
But I did think the coach and that they were just kind of laid back about it. They no panic.
The team takes on.
She didn't get
the
on.
coach's attitude.
It
She
does.
didn't get in their face. None.
No,
What
not
an
really.
outstanding job she's done.
She's done. Yeah. Who is
I
she
think
now?
when she got there, Melissa Bennett.
Melissa Bennett.
Yeah.
All right, shout out
She-
Melissa Bennett to Oxford.
I'm
She's
gonna
done
tell
a
you
good
this
job.
right now. I think I could be wrong on this, but I think when she got there, they had 3 wins.
Lord.
And she's got some good assistants, but she's
Now-
in charge now.
Zayona Whitfield
Mm-hmm.
is a dog. She is a sophomore.
Wow.
She is the real deal. Zayona Whitfield's her name. She is the one that they look to for basket. She is the everything for them. Now they lost some seniors that's going to be graduating, like Laura Ellard, which we made an edit for.
Mm-hmm.
But at the end of the day, Zayona's the one that's going to be there, and she's there for 2 more years. So they're not going anywhere. They're going to be really good moving forward. But they run into Hazel Green. Ooh.
Well, everybody's had a good one.
undefeated.
Let me, Josh.
Oh, they didn't lose a game?
No.
All right, they beat Hoover with it running.
Everybody run into Hazel Green.
Y'all hear what I just said?
That's like that pitchfork and you already keep stepping on it. Bang.
Y'all, did you hear what I just said?
Hoover would have run it.
They beat Hoover with a running clock in the 4th.
The state championship, you know.
No. Hoover 7.
Oh.
Yeah.
They played them in the regular season,
Oh.
and the clock was running in the 4th because they were up over 30.
Ooh,
Now,
okay.
here's some stats for you. Come on.
Mhm.
We'll throw some stats out here that's going to make you go.
They're
Stats.
so good. We think they could have stayed with Pisgah within 10.
I'm surely.
Josh, you're going to start a ride if the right people are
Hey, schedule it. See what happens.
I'm sure
They don't
they'll
want to
take it.
schedule it next year.
No.
They don't want to schedule it next year.
Don't let me write.
Tim Miller. This
Poor kids.
it's funny how everybody tries to I don't know, make distance between the two sports. But this reminds me so much of football. It's not even funny. From the aspect of Pisgah won 5 straight state championships.
Mm-hmm.
And everybody's like, man, that's a state record. Well, guess what? The same weekend, Tim Miller and Hazel Green does the same thing. In football, Danny Horn wins his 8th.
I know Tim.
Danny Horn wins his 8th championship. Same Super 7 Barry Curtis wins.
Oh, he won his 8th.
Identical. So here's some Samaya Steele.
Mm-hmm.
It's going to be between Samaya Steele and Molly Hurt, who wins Mrs. Basketball for the stage. No question about it. She is unbelievable.
Mm-hmm.
All right. And her game travels. She goes to the Alabama Mississippi All Star game yesterday, or was it yesterday. Dominates. There's nobody stopping her.
Really?
All right. She's really, really good. She's an Alabama A&M. It's an Alabama State commit. But she did it early, and everybody's like, bro, she can go, wherever she wants. Well, she can, but Alabama State's also playing the championship game in their conference. So it's a good choice for her to go there. But a lot of people were saying she can go like South Carolina good, and she probably could. But
remember when we used to say Tennessee good?
Yeah. Oh, I do. Here's a funny story.
Good.
Yeah.
This is something off the record that nobody in the media is going to tell you. This is fact.
Mm-hmm.
He has a travel team of guys that they scrimmage against.
No wonder they do good.
Guys, no, this ain't guys that are like randoms. No, these are ex-Hazel Green high school players who were all county, all area guys who play and scrimmage against these girls.
So you don't go to outside Huntsville and just get
That
five guys.
that could make a difference. I mean, like Gadsden City, if they go down and scrape up the Dudley brothers and some of those guys that used to hoop in Gadsden
right here
area.
they graduate.
Hey, no, I'm talking about recent
84,
guys.
85.
But hey, here's a funny story. Hazel Green brings these guys to the Final Four with them, pays for their hotel, their food, everything, and then they practice during their practice time against these guys. Final Four.
Did you know that in Georgia you can't do stuff like that?
I don't know.
It's an unfair advantage. They'll tell you that.
But how would
You
they
can't
know?
even practice against a 9th grader.
How would they even
Do you
know, though?
respect
Really?
that, though? Is that not cool?
Yeah,
Yeah,
I mean,
it is cool.
It's kinda like
A lot of people would say, nah, that ain't right. I don't know. I mean, what do y'all think?
yeah.
I think I really respect it, and I think it should be done. If it can be done.
If it can.
Yeah. If
Hey,
it's,
if you want,
I think the reasoning behind it is
If
everybody
Hazel
can't do
Green,
it.
I got
They're
a
not
question
let
for
them.
Matt and Todd,
Hmm.
and Josh, and Reggie. If Hazel Green and Pisgah play tomorrow, what the score be?
tomorrow,
Same teams as on the court this year.
60.
63-47.
I was going to say,
Oh, was you going to say that?
I was going to say 63-57.
I don't know. I think. You think Pisgah beat them up there?
No.
Well,
I say Hazel Green wins by 10 at least.
It would be a who fouls out or who mistakes.
buzzer beater.
Buzzer beater. Somebody. Pisgah.
Basketball's different now. What if Hazel Green's not hitting?
Look, Tim
They're
Miller.
not hitting it
Look,
up.
hey, Pete, look, classifications, and I tell people this all the time. Classifications are overrated,
In basketball.
in basketball.
and in football because
No, there's a competitive advantage.
3A Piedmont beat
The-
7A Grissom.
But that's Grissom.
Grissom's
Grissom.
losing too.
Yes.
Yeah, their football
I'm just
program
saying-
It's a competitive
Don't-
advantage of
You know, they,
athletes.
Piedmont probably dressed more players than Grissom did.
Right, yes.
I know this is not.
I think they
I
did.
know.
Yeah,
But look,
I mean that's
I
just
think they did.
how it is.
A lot of people will look at and they'll say, well, that's a 3A team going up against a 5A team. Okay. Well, this is a great 3A team.
Like with Spring Garden might as well be, I'm just going to say, they might as well be 1A. They have been my whole life. They're a small rural county school. Those girls, whoever's watching, Kevin watching out of Hazel Green over there. I had a guy from New York that's going to be watching this little team. These girls don't come off the court. Neely and Ace, their main starters,
In the big games.
they play all night. So to your point, yeah, I mean, those small schools, and at those big schools, well, you would think that, well, they're going to be swapping, girls in and out. Like Alabama does. They swap another 5-star for another that's on the bench. But, man, those girls at Spring Garden, I'm using them for example.
Let's not discount Pisgah against Avergae because
I wouldn't at all.
Hey,
I wouldn't.
Spring Garden beat
Pisgah's
6A
awesome.
Oxford. So
I would like to see that
Beat
game.
them
It'd be
2 out of 3
interesting.
games.
It'll be a very competitive game,
We
but I
don't-
still I think Hazel Green comes out with the W.
You think size?
I think it.
Yeah,
That's what I don't think would be length
I'm not
because that's what hurt
basketball.
Spring Garden. What hurt Spring Garden was the length of those players and some of the quickness. They couldn't hardly inbound the ball
You talking about in
sometimes.
Jacksonville?
Yes.
against Pisgah,
Yes.
Yeah, dude,
Pisgah's 3-pointers what destroyed.
Well, I know. I mean, that's-
Don't even
I
do
mean-
group classes in basketball.
Besides that, I mean, besides the they could hit they were like 90% on threes.
In boys, I don't know if they do it in girls, but every school in the state of Kentucky is in one of 16 regions. And the top 8 from the 16 regions plays for the whoever wins the region goes to the Sweet 16. You got one state champion. Now, usually it is a bigger school, but every now and then you'll get a school with 600 kids.
I would like to see. You take your 1 versus your 6, 2 versus 5, 3 versus 4. 7 gets by, or whoever had the best record gets
Right.
by. And I'd like to see classifications go up because I don't think it'd be 7A every year.
Not in not in
In
basketball.
basketball?
No
Oh,
way.
hell.
No, basketball's
They
different.
wasn't nobody beating Coleman this year.
Oh,
I hate to say that. I'm just being honest.
Yeah.
They wasn't nobody beating Coleman this year in basketball.
You'd be surprised.
and 7A, the boys and girls was
Enterprise. No way.
Enterprise. Oh,
Enterprise couldn't beat Coleman.
they're a big school.
I'm just telling you
Big school.
right
It's like a college.
now. We're on 6A boys, and I'm going to run through this real quick. Barry Dunning, unbelievable.
Mm.
From McGill-Tulane.
mentioned him earlier.
Very good.
Yeah.
Same with Arkansas.
Unbelievable.
Wow.
He showed out. Well, he's the MVP of the.
You got to be pretty good. I mean, Arkansas is in the bracket. I mean,
Arkansas's not looking. Whoever their recruiter's good.
absolutely.
The reason that we have this, I'll say edginess against us, because AL.com put out this article and it talked about all the players in the state championship games in the Final Four. They mentioned one human being, 1 through 7A, on girls or boys side from the Northeast region. That's it.
So they don't have enough riders to scrape
No,
up
no,
something
no, no.
together to
No.
give
They
some
don't-
kids attention.
No. They
Is that
don't,
what you do for a
no,
living?
no.
That's
No.
purpose.
That's what I'm saying.
Yeah, don't get me
They
started.
don't care.
I push my-
They don't care. They don't care about areas where they don't sell out.
Well, what's that matter? What's it got
It's
to do with
been
it?
like this for years. They have ignored Northeast Alabama.
Hey,
That would be like me ignoring Ike
Josh.
Brown when he's making his run at 5
Hey,
because
guess
he's not
what?
in our area. Well,
Guess
he's a
what?
great player. I just want to talk about him.
Matt, let me throw one more curveball. They don't even cover Birmingham.
Bro,
They ignore Birmingham. They are Southern based.
Birmingham City.
that don't make no sense.
Yeah. Now they mentioned one guy who was from Huffman was Christopher Blunt, who is
And
somebody.
it's not that he's not bad, but there's about
No,
what
he's
about the
great.
other?
But how
20
do you
players.
not? Let me ask you the question: how do you not even mention Molly Hurd with 5 straight state
She's not going to
championships,
a big
and
school.
she's all state 3 years in a row?
Where's she going to college?
Lipscomb, but she's got 30-something offers.
Wow.
But she chose Lipscomb because they have a family member there.
Yeah.
So you got a girl with 5 straight state championships and 3 straight all-state. She's all-state 3 years in a row.
Are the team?
Four-star
And
Alabama
you
Smith.
can't mention her.
Are the girl the 8th grader last year that played with them that only lost 1/4 of the box score of the game that almost beat them? Ace and Neely and all the girls.
You're not even going to mention any of them. Now,
And
you
look,
don't mention
hold on.
John Broom. You don't mention Cade. You don't mention anybody from Jacksonville.
Let me just say this.
They're good too.
We've only mentioned her name twice, and it was in passing. It's almost criminal. Ace Austin.
Yeah.
Yeah, I know. That's what I'm saying. She's 8th.
She can handle the ball.
Dude, let me tell you. Do you know what I was doing in 8th grade?
Playing Jan
I
Jones,
was like at the skating ring trying to maybe sneak a cigarette or something, listen to Motley Crue, trying to grow a mullet. This
was last
child,
weekend,
this
or
child,
like 8th grade.
yeah, this young girl is like playing USAA basketball
Yeah.
and competing in
I
state
met
championships.
I met her AAU coach at the tournament, and she's playing up
Who?
2 years.
Ace.
Oh.
She's playing up. She's not even supposed to be on that team.
Mm.
She's playing up 2 years
Yeah.
to be on that
Yeah.
team.
And I don't know if y'all had a
I
chance to see,
understand
but
that.
Bohatchee got a girl by the name of Jordan Crook.
Y'all seen her.
Crook.
Jordan.
Hmm.
She is.
Call her Air Jordan. She averaged about 25 a game.
She had
What is she?
30
Tall,
she had
lengthy,
39 points.
tall, lengthy girl or short power
She's
point guard
6'6",
looking?
6'1".
See what grade she in?
She's
right
a
at 6
junior.
foot. Yeah, 6'6".
Wow.
Jordan.
I think she had 30 something against Geraldine.
She had 38.
What grade she in now? She's a
Junior.
Junior.
And,
She got another
and
year.
The coach took her out, and the student section started chanting, "We want 40." He put her back in, and she got it. But that, to me, that was risky.
Yeah.
Because if she'd have went down,
yeah, that's true.
Yeah,
Yeah, we got to keep eye on her. Write that name down.
She's
Jordan
good.
Crook.
Yeah.
She's good.
What else y'all got for us? All the covers of Birmingham.
I
Y'all.
think he still got 7 to go.
Oh, okay.
But one interesting thing about Hazel Green, I don't think many people know that Tim Miller has won a state championship with, I want to say 4 or 5 different schools. He's their coach. And I know he won at Jeff Davis.
Mm.
He won at Bob Jones.
a good friend of ours with Jeff Davis graduated from
I
there.
say if you can win one at 2
Yeah.
schools, you're pretty good.
Yeah, he's won at several schools.
Yeah.
And I want to say he coached somewhere in Birmingham. I can't remember. I want to say it was. I'm not. It's a Birmingham City school. Then of course Hazel Green, and there may be one more there. But he's coached at 5 different schools, and he's won a championship
Wow.
at every stop.
Every school.
Did y'all know that Reggie here is
Right, too.
a close personal friend of the drum major?
I wouldn't say a close personal friend.
Oh, we know him.
I mean, you know,
He's tweeted us.
he has.
Tweet at us.
Yeah.
The drum major from Jeff Davis, who is now at
Alabama State.
Alabama State. Have you seen that video?
Hmm.
It's
It was.
it's amazing.
You know, if you know Jeff Davis is a predominantly black high school. So their band is show style band.
I love that stuff.
And their drum major,
The Drumline movie, yeah, go see. If you ain't seen that, go check it out.
their drum major,
Michael B.
a couple
Jordan.
years ago was this little short white kid, and
And when
he
you
is
see it, you're like, how in
He's
the
like, how
world
in
did
the
that guy
world?
choose him?
How does he fit into this?
But you see him doing his thing. I mean, his video went viral, and I was like,
That band director had no other choice. He had to pick him.
and now he's a drum major at Alabama State, and I've talked to him on his live, and he's agreed to do an interview with us, but we have to have it approved through their band record, and I don't know how hard that would be, but
That dude's legit.
he's legit.
Hmm.
He's legit. He had offers to go to Auburn, wherever school he wanted to go to. He was just that great of a student, great musician. I mean, he had choices, but he chose to stay at home and go to Alabama State.
Find out something every day.
Time to finish
What else
up.
you got for us?
All right, we're going to roll through these.
Hit us with it.
So the 6A championship game, there was more people.
Move that mic back over. That way.
There was
son.
more people
That's good.
there to watch
It just blocks
Coleman
the
and
face.
Huffman than there was. The biggest crowd they've had, I can't remember how many years, but there was more people there at the Coleman and Huffman championship game, 6A, than there's been. They said the number, but I can't remember how many years. Bigger than even the Bucky McMillan versus Robert E. Lee game.
Wow.
Hey, Coleman filled up the upper deck. The whole upper deck. You couldn't see this on N8, whatever it's called.
NFHS.
You couldn't see it on there, but they filled up their section, and their student fan base is called the Chaos. They filled up all that they're allotted. All right. Their overflow went upstairs. They filled up that entire upstairs area that they're not allotted. We're talking 2,000, 3,000 people on top of their allotted downstairs.
It's talking about,
Who was it?
talking about Coleman.
Coleman's
Oh,
fans.
yeah, I've heard
Coleman.
that. Great.
Big place,
Called
big
the
city.
Chaos. So Stu Studerman's their first year head coach and wins the state championship. A lot of people thought he should have gotten that Mountain Brook job, and a lot of people were like, well, he should have because they won the state championship at Coleman. Yeah, but,
Difference.
but Mountain Brook's coach won the state championship after Bucky as well. I can't remember his name. I'm sorry.
What's Bucky's last name?
McMillan. I know Bucky's name. I don't know the guy who took over after Bucky. He won the state. Y'all can Google that.
That's a hard.
He won the state last year. Nobody wants that job. Who wants to follow Bucky McMillan? But the guy won the state last year, and he had them in the regional finals this year. And, oh, by the way, they lost to Huffman, who played Coleman for the state championship. So there's a lot of intricate parts going in that game. But here's the X factor. The one player that the AL.com said that you have to watch in the Northeast Regional, girls or boys, 1 through 7A, was Christopher Blunt from Huffman.
Right.
Guess what happens to him in the championship game?
Hurt.
Rolls his ankle bad in the first quarter, halfway through the first quarter. That's an X factor in that championship game. Huffman ends up losing, and you can't tell me
that didn't make a difference.
That didn't make a difference.
No, sure had to.
It sure did.
Had to make a difference. You lose star players.
I think they lost by 7?
It wasn't by much. It was close.
How did Spain Park go?
Well, it's funny you mentioned that, Josh, because now we're over into 7A.
I know we don't have.
Spain Park girls are horrible.
What?
They're horrible. They're not even. This is the worst year he's ever had.
Yeah, he had.
I love.
Did they play for it?
No, I don't think they had many seniors this year. This team, that girls team, yeah, their girls team this year did not look like your typical Spain Park girls team.
Hey, tell them what Coach Chase does for fun.
Oh, he runs 100-mile marathons.
Yeah,
100 miles. Not 100 K.
That's like flirting with death.
Yeah, that's...
Oh, it is. He said he's hallucinated halfway through.
I work with a guy that I don't know what he's going to run a 314-mile race, and
you work with this guy?
Yes, he averages 17 a day, 17 miles.
Time out.
And nothing.
Was he going to Moab to run the 240?
I don't know. I just know that, and I don't want to cause people to think, well, you're saying he didn't make. I think he had to quit. I'm talking about in that.
I need to meet this guy. How far did he run before he had to quit?
I don't know. I'll ask him.
What's his name? Is he from here?
His name's Shane Tucker.
I need to talk to him for a couple of reasons.
Okay.
We, as Average Shows, is about to sponsor an event that's happening.
Did you say it was in the Mojave?
Moab.
Oh.
No, you're talking about the one that David Goggins runs.
I think he might have run in there. He runs in some big ones now.
You're talking about the one David Goggins
I
runs.
don't know.
We're talking about the Moab 240 where they run 240 miles.
I may not then. I'll just quit.
Okay. I don't know what he ran, but I know that most people don't finish it.
Yeah. Did he run out there in California, that guy?
I'm wanting to say he ran in Death Valley. Does that sound right?
Yeah, hell yeah. That's the one Goggins ran. Yeah. Sorry.
When Coach Chase was telling us about all these races, I mean, it's just, I don't know how he has time. He's got all these different.
He got talent. The reason that was huge. What Josh talking about? Dude, this guy was like talking about mentally challenging. So like, you got a head coach that can run 100 miles without stopping.
Try complaining about suicide.
You start talking about complaining about suicides to this guy, that's huge.
Yeah.
This is Sarah Ashley Barker's head coach, right?
I don't know. Players are smart now. They'll be like, well, you do that on your own.
All right.
I don't know if I could run 100 yards right now. I'd catch cramp.
I'm going to run through these 7As real quick. So, in the girls' side, we obviously had Vestavia, who won it up here with the twins, which was Emma and Correll Smith, who won. You know, Vestavia was a really, really good team. Emma Smith was obviously the MVP of the tournament. There's two twins, but one of them's the scorer, the big dog, or whatever. The problem is they ran into Hoover and Coach Crystal Johnson, who's won, 4 of the last 6?
Yeah, that's correct. 4 of the last 6.
4 of the last 6. So they ran into her, and it's a nemesis that they're used to. You know, it's not like it's shocking to them.
Mm-hmm.
They're in the same city, but different brackets, so they end up meeting in the Final Four and in the championship game. Anaya Hubbard, number 5 for Hoover, is the real deal. They got 4 or 5 players that's real good, but a lot of people don't remember this. In that Sarah Ashley Barker game, that was the girl who scored 20-something as a sophomore when Sarah Ashley Barker and them won it. And they had to hang on by a thread to win that.
Yeah.
Sarah Ashley found out. This was the girl from Hoover as a sophomore that was scoring all those points to come storming back to actually take the lead in the fourth.
Oh, really? Spain Park just had to get it in and keep a hold of it, and they couldn't even get it in and keep a hold of it.
Yeah.
Now, on the boys' side, Spain Park, man, I really thought they were going to win it all. I have a guy by the name of Colin Turner, who I took a picture with, who's 6'9", 275. he plays. It's refreshing to watch that guy because he plays like a big man. He's 6'9".
Is that the blonde-headed kid with
Yep, the one I took a picture of.
his arms like it's
6'9", 275. Yeah, and he plays with his back to the basket. How do you pronounce the name? Chris Latch?
Lash.
Yeah. So Chris Latch is the coach at St. Clark. Great guy. Him and Coach Ward's wife were the people who picked the MVPs, not two others, of each game in each tournament.
Wow.
So they had to watch all the games. So they were there the whole week when I was there. So I talked to him and got to know him a lot. And I told him, I said, buddy, your center is my favorite basketball player I've seen in the last 15 years in high school basketball. For one reason. Because the big man role in high school basketball, college basketball, and NBA basketball is gone.
It's coming back in college a little bit.
Everybody wants to face the basket, shoot threes, and score.
That's all they want.
He wants his back to the basket, dominate down low.
he wants to play old school. He's going to back his way down the ball and hit the hook shots or
wins.
And
underneath
by
shots.
God, he did.
Yeah.
When I tell you that, when I say by God he did, he did. Am I lying? Colin Turner's the deal, buddy.
He's good.
But they ran into Enterprise and ends up winning it all. And they just had too many athletes that created enough pressure before they could even get him the ball where they actually ended up beating them. And then in the championship game, now, and the other side of the game, other side of the region, Baker's LeBron Fillon.
Say that name real fast 5 times.
LeBron Fillon, listen to me. You can mark this down. He will be in the NBA, and he will be a lottery pick.
Who does he play for?
He plays for Baker.
Lottery pick. I mean, I agree.
Mark that down. Listen to me. He is he's a top 5 sophomore in the country.
Philon.
Philon. You go look him up right now. LeBron Fillon.
We get a call
LeBron.
when he gets picked 14th. You're like, I told you he wasn't no lottery pick.
Mark it down.
He is good. I've read up on him.
Hey,
He's good.
He's the number 4 or 5 sophomore in the country.
Was he one of the ones keeping
He'll
your eye
probably
on?
be a lottery.
You might want to keep your eye on.
Is he a tall, lengthy guy or is he a point guard, small shooter guy?
6'5" and can play by all of 4 positions. I wouldn't say he's like a Colin Turner guy, but he can play. I'm going to tell you this right now. I think, what's his name? He's going to Arkansas, Dunning. I'd say he's probably the best player in the tournament overall. I think John Broom's the most complete player in the tournament overall. And I think this guy has the highest potential in the tournament overall.
Well, I mean, the average height for the NBA is, like 6'6", 6'7", so he's 6'5". That's kind
10
of
more years to grow.
that's smaller for, but
He may be 6'6".
but he's 16 years old,
Yeah.
16,
If I put you
17.
on the
See what Phil looks like.
If I put you on the spot right here, Tony, but if
So
you
we're
had-
done with this. If
If you
Okay.
had to pick a coach of the tournament,
boys or girls?
each
Boys would be Robbie Coker.
girls. And look, they don't have to have one. Who do you think did the best coaching
Maybe they
job?
didn't win. Maybe they lost. Maybe they lost a state game. Just
But,
first taking what they got and
You can
doing
do a
with
good
it.
job and look.
yeah, take them
Especially in
and
basketball.
getting the most out of their team.
And the girls' side is a lot harder.
You want to say Ramsey?
And the girls' side?
Yeah.
No, they didn't make it.
Well, they don't have to make it. Did she get everything that she could have?
She did, but you want to say Kenny Hill at Gunnersville?
Yeah.
Because he
They
did
wasn't
more or
supposed to
less.
They weren't.
But
They
then
weren't
you
supposed to
say
make
Tim
it.
Miller, who's won his 5th straight, or Ellison at Pisgah, who's won his 5th straight.
Tim Miller runs a crane in Atlanta.
Yeah, he lives right behind.
And the boys' side, the reason I say Robbie Coker, because he went and beat a lot of these teams who's competing in this tournament, who's way up above him. And I've watched these teams. Robbie Coker's the best basketball coach in the state, boys.
Can you give us a Robbie Coker impression?
That's what I think.
That's not right.
Hey, Coach.
See, I'll tell you one thing. I like what Bruce Pearl does. He talks about how great Auburn is. He does the opposite.
Yeah.
He said we're better than who put them out, A&M?
Yeah.
We're better than them.
We just had a bad day. We're better than them.
That's
But
true.
I don't like that poor
So
man.
he's a class of
That's so
24,
cliche. Would you agree?
Yeah, that's what most coaches do.
No, he'll be a
Cliche.
junior.
That's what most coaches do.
Some-
They say, well, you know,
Not very like that's
Alabama's
6'3",
playing Auburn. Well, you know, they're really good this year. You know,
He's on our
no.
He's on our Instagram.
Yeah, 6'3"
When they're
guard.
expecting the whip, give them
But that might be the-
when they want
Yeah.
to give them the whip.
Yes.
You know,
Yes.
And then basketball, it could be true. You can be winning and not playing.
You
Right?
go to Bass Prep?
That's true.
I found
because
that
he
kid
knows
not
what
going.
they look like when they're playing
Right.
at the top of their game, and just because they
But
beat
you know these
something
schools
by
when they turn
20,
in their stats, they're not
that's not a
you
good
know,
representation.
Right.
always.
Might be a
correct.
reflection of the whole
Turned
thing.
it over.
Then you gonna do college basketball?
Go ahead.
Yeah, I'll do it quickly.
We're almost 2 hours.
Okay, I'll be quick.
You ain't
I know
gotta
that's-
be. You
All right.
rock on, man.
All right,
This is a
first
special
off,
show.
But before we get started, 3 coaches in SEC fired. Tom Crean at Georgia went 6-26 this year.
Yeah, I
He
expected
fired.
Probably a good one.
Quanzo Martin, Missouri fired, and Will Wade, the most hated guy in college basketball probably ever.
I thought they was doing a good job.
No,
but
he is hated.
I don't know.
Hated.
He's a cheater.
I don't know. I mean, I don't.
Which I'm not going to say. I'm not going to say Brian Knapp. He absolutely hates him. He says he shouldn't even be a college basketball coach.
Wow.
He shouldn't for what he did.
I'm talking about even before the cheating.
Oh, now I don't know about before cheating.
What has this guy done?
I don't know. Dude.
I mean, the NCAA said
I don't know.
LSU and those allegations from a few years ago when the college
They never
basketball
done
scandal was going on. He was on tape saying we just offered some player a strong A offer, and he's on tape saying this. And there's other things too that went on. There were some payments made to players,
Right.
boosters, pretty much like Alabama when they got caught back in the '90s. I mean, hey, it is what it is. I mean, it is what it is. You know, you had a booster, like I said, making he embezzled money from Our Ladies or something foundation, and he paid this player's parent, dad, or something. It's just it was a lot going
You got to
on.
answer to that. Answer, but
Wow.
Yeah,
Our Lady's Grace.
yeah, I mean, he. There was no control in the program. He was just running the foul and doing what he wanted to do.
Wade was.
And he was
Yeah.
pretty much casting a bad light on the LSU program.
And they got good
So,
players.
Yeah.
He's probably a good coach.
I tell you, if
Yeah,
Art
he's-
Browse can get hired back, this guy can get hired back.
I'm sure
That's-
somebody will.
That is a good point.
So
Now, so there's 3 coaches gone.
3 coaches gone. All right, let's go to our Power 5 champions, conference champions. Tennessee beat A&M today, 65-50. Arizona beat UCLA. I just thought UCLA would be one of the top teams in the country this year.
I know you didn't ask me for it.
Uh-huh.
That's my pick to win it all.
Well, after last year, Arizona or UCLA?
Arizona.
Oh,
They have 21 games of 20 plus
And
assists.
Tennessee beat them.
So they are really good about. I have a shot. You have a better shot.
Tennessee beat them?
Yes.
he did beat Arizona. I do remember that now. Yeah.
Virginia Tech beat Duke. And, I won't stay on this long. My uncle says that Duke's going to win it because Coach K's last year. Well,
Duke's not
everybody's
that
motivated to run this last year for
Look,
Coach K.
I am a huge.
So I don't think
Duke's
they're
not
going to
winning.
win nothing.
I'm a huge Duke fan,
Uh-huh.
and I can tell you they're either going to win it all or they're out in the second round. That's how it goes every.
Well, they're out in
year.
the second round.
Kansas beats Texas Tech, and Iowa beats Purdue. All right, so your top 4 seeds. Tell me if I'm wrong, Reggie. Kansas, Baylor.
Yep. I disagree with that one. Yeah.
And y'all might get mad at me when I tell you what I disagree with. Gonzaga and Arizona.
Where's
All right.
Kansas at?
Huh?
Was Kansas wound up
They wound up.
Kansas was
America.
second seed?
No, they're one.
Okay.
Kansas, Baylor, Gonzaga, and Arizona.
Okay.
I can see that.
All right, Kentucky's a 2. Auburn's a 2. Bama 6. I think that's ridiculous.
They're a good team.
LSU 6. Arkansas 4. Tennessee a 3. UCLA is a 4. And that's pretty much it. And Auburn plays Jack State.
Yeah, they do.
In Alabama's bracket, who is
Jacksonville
the 1 and
State's gonna
2
upset Auburn.
seeds?
No, I don't believe that.
Jacksonville State will beat Auburn.
Reggie, could you look up
He's
some
on a
stuff
hot take.
I will. What you got?
for me? Who is in Kentucky's and Alabama's side and Auburn's Who's some other teams
who's
in
the
there?
1 and 2s in their brackets?
Let's see. While I'm looking this up, Alabama being a 6 seed.
Providence, maybe. I think I read.
Providence has got a good team.
Yeah,
Yeah, I think they're a 4 seed.
Yeah. I like them.
I don't disagree with Alabama being a 6 seed because
They beat they had some quality wins.
They've got several quality.
Alabama?
yeah.
Yeah,
They've got
big Baylor and
8
Gonzaga.
quad 1 wins. That's the second most in the country.
Right.
I mean,
Yeah.
But if we're
how
going,
do you put them any lower?
Can I say
But
something?
basketball's the only sport that rewards you for what you did earlier in the year.
well,
Can I say something?
they beat Gonzaga
It's
because
hilarious.
they beat-
and I'm saying this from the outside looking in because I don't even watch it.
Uh-huh.
It's hilarious for me to get on my Facebook and see actual Alabama fans saying "fire Nate Oates."
I haven't heard a lot
I
of
haven't heard it.
Anybody said it. I'm not gonna say his name.
I don't want to. I have an idea, but
you may have
Maybe
some.
not with the wrong Alabama friends.
Yeah,
whoever says that, they're an idiot because Nate Oates said
Bro.
himself before the season, we're not going to have a year like we had last year.
But Reggie, let me ask you something. Me and Matt's talking about this. Can him and Pearl? Okay, here's Alabama got beat 8 for 35 from threes, and Auburn got beat. They were 9 for 36 from threes.
Like, can they not? Please
Can you not
stop.
call a timeout and tell them to stop shooting threes?
I agree with that. When Alabama's not shooting the 3 well, which they haven't done all year.
Why don't they tell them to stop? What's your opinion?
That's his.
That's his style. That's
his
Nate
style.
Oates' style. And this year he
That's-
just don't
Okay,
have those
well, that makes
shooters.
sense. I can take that.
That's
And if
Bucky.
you tell me that's his style, I don't
Three
like
for
it. I think he's
26.
psychotic.
It's look, Bucky
He's an idiot.
McMillan will straight up tell you we
He's
want
an idiot.
layups or threes.
That right there says it all. He's
Yeah, you can say that.
So
I mean, if you're going to go down and you're going to just keep shooting the
You read it,
ball,
Josh?
Yes.
you know, every
Look,
time,
look,
every
What
time you
Bucky McMillan
miss,
say? He said we want layups or threes.
Yeah.
every time you
and
miss, though, I mean,
Kobe
it's just
Jones, he
Yeah,
did the
I know.
weird. He plays for Xavier now. He had this
Mhm.
weird thing that he would do where he would pump fake at the 3-point line, take a dribble inside of this like weird in between area between a layup and a 3, and he would shoot it.
Mid range.
He had a mid range game, is what they call it.
Yeah.
And, yeah, there's no need. That's completely gone out.
Yes.
yeah.
Well, it is, but it's coming back by the ones who want to be skilled.
Right.
Kentucky.
That's where Michael Jordan and Kobe
No, no.
dominated. Was mid range.
Yeah.
Well, that's because he had to adjust his game because he could no longer get to the basket as easily.
What was the Kentucky?
Kentucky, they're in the East region with Baylor as the number 1 seed. Kentucky's the 2 seed.
I think they can beat Baylor.
Kentucky would beat Baylor.
I mean, they had the
Yeah,
SEC
yeah.
Player of the Year, Oscar
Purdue,
Sheway.
they've got Purdue as the
Uh-huh.
3 seed, and UCLA is the 4 seed in the East. That's going to be
They'll have to face Tyler Haas.
that's going to be a heck of a region.
Yeah, that's a good region. You got Kentucky, UCLA, and Baylor.
Mhm.
Wow. UCLA went to Final Four last year. Had everybody back, and are not as good.
And what was the other region you wanted to?
Auburn.
Alabama.
Auburn.
I don't think. I mean, you can check on Alabama.
Auburn is in the Midwest with Kansas, and Auburn's the 2 seed. The 3 seed is Wisconsin and Forest Providence,
No. Who was the one in that?
Kansas,
Ooh.
That's Alabama.
No, that's
Alabama.
Auburn's got. It's going to have to run into Kansas.
Well, Auburn ain't gonna make it around. Ain't that right, Bo?
I think Alabama's the one that need to
Jackson
worry about.
State's going to beat them.
They play Loyola.
Why is everybody?
I mean, look, dude, I'm an alma mater of JSU.
Hey,
I'm down with it.
Why does everybody not think JSU can beat Auburn?
They just don't. They're not. They ain't got the money. They don't recruit like Auburn
I
does.
bet-
They got some dudes.
They're good.
They have a really good
But we're
coach.
talking about-
I think that it's possible.
It is possible,
It'll be a
but,
4-quarter game.
but when you're playing,
Or second half game.
when you're able to pay a kid $100,000 on a car versus $5,000 in a book
Whoa!
bag.
Are you saying
Are
that
you
Auburn
looking
illegally
at-
recruit?
What's a Division I school? They throw big money around. I'm
Well,
just. I'm not,
Whoa!
If
Whoa.
Are you
Auburn-
insinuating
if Auburn
Auburn's recruiting?
plays
I
like
mean,
they
Pearl-
are playing,
Pearl
Jackson
hasn't been-
State will beat them.
They could, yeah.
Pearl has been known to do
What?
that.
What?
Why?
I'm saying if Auburn comes in that game playing like they played the last
Well,
couple
why are they
games,
living and
JSU
dying?
will win.
JSU will win the game.
I agree.
They're
Auburn's
living and
been
dying by
playing
the
well.
3 also.
I agree.
That's
Yeah.
their style.
Yeah.
They
Look
wasn't
who they
in
got
style
down
earlier in
low.
the year.
Look who they got down low. They should go through their big.
I know a guy.
Is it Walker Kessler?
Yes. He's great.
phenomenal.
He's great.
And I'm not saying he knows everything, but I know a guy who used to coach college ball, and he's a huge Alabama fan. He wouldn't give you a dime for Alabama. He says they're not going to get any better at shooting threes.
Is it
And
Luke
they're-
Sanderson?
No, his name's Kevin Musket. You know Kevin Musket. You know.
I did get hanging
He knows
out
what
with Sanderson at the tournament. Though.
Yes, he said there's no. He said they're not going to get better. They're not any good at it, but they're going to keep doing it. He goes, but you don't get better at shooting threes.
Yeah.
It's like if you don't.
For them to make a run in the
You
NCAA
don't.
tournament, they're going to go away from the three unless they know they've got a definite shot. They're going to drive the ball
Mhm.
to the basket because
They
they've got
won't do
the
They
big,
need to
they've got a big
kick it out
man.
for the three.
Right.
Yeah. Yeah, and when they do that, they seem to hit them.
We
But
got JD.
Oh, and
Davis.
Arkansas
Yeah.
for Reggie.
Arkansas is a 4.
That's a
They're in
dangerous
the same
four.
region with
Yeah.
Alabama.
They're very good.
That's
And
a
also
This
dangerous
was
Gonzaga.
four.
volume 2 of this episode,
Yeah.
so we're going to roll on here into finish
You got-
college basketball, then we're going to do NCAA spring football.
Yeah, we're getting close.
You've got Gonzaga,
Y'all go to volume 3 to hear that part.
Duke,
Thank you, guys.
and Texas Tech as the
See,
and Arkansas as the top 4 seeds, and then you also got Alabama
I don't like
in
Texas
that
Tech.
region, and Memphis. So that's not a bad region.
So who did you say the one was in that?
Gonzaga,
All right, back again, volume
a team
3
that Alabama's
started.
already beat. So interesting.
I like that. That's some good regions. Top 4 anyway.
Yeah.
It'll get weeded
And all
out.
this
They
will-
don't tell them what it'll look like by Monday,
And,
Yeah,
all,
yeah.
and when all this is going to kick off,
Thursday.
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 or Friday.
Well, they got playing games.
Yeah.
So
All right.
it's really a
Matt,
big
Todd, give me your winner.
it's too early.
No, what are you talking about? Tournament
We got to
set.
fill out brackets.
Well, you know who they think's going to win it. Arizona, you know they're not going to win it. No offense, Josh, but you know they're not.
That was my pick. I didn't say that.
No, that's who the experts are saying.
Oh, really?
Yeah,
Oh, that makes me feel better.
What do you think, Todd?
I don't think
Gut
Gonzaga's going to win it. Kansas.
I like Kansas too.
It has been a minute for Kansas.
Syracuse.
20
Mario
years.
Chalmers.
20 years.
Syracuse.
What?
No, they didn't even make it.
That wasn't 20 years.
Yeah,
was it?
No, that was in 08.
Okay, I was fixing to
They won it with. They won
They
it with.
should have won it 20 years ago.
No, they won it with. Carmelo was there.
Huh?
They won it with Carmelo.
Oh,
was
yeah,
there.
they beat Kansas. We were talking about the last time Kansas won.
Oh, it's
yes,
been
they beat Derrick Rose.
No,
On
Kansas.
bus
It's been a
Yeah.
That
They beat
Memphis.
Derrick Rose on the
They
bus.
usually
Memphis.
underperform in this
Memphis.
tournament, though, don't they?
Yeah, Calipari was at Memphis then.
Hey, how? What year was that when Carmelo won it with
3.
Syracuse?
03 because I was in Iraq. I missed it.
All right, who won it in 02? Carolina.
Maryland. Hey, you don't want to get me on this. I can do this all night. I'm not an expert on anything. but I can tell you-
05 was Carolina.
Yeah.
Maryland? What in
Maryland. Yeah.
Yeah, that's the year they beat Duke. That's when them and Duke was
I
going
don't
back.
know why. For some reason, I've always
Was that not
been
when
thinking-
Blake was at Maryland?
Yeah, Blake, but he wasn't their best
He wasn't
player.
their best player. but he was
Juan
good.
Dixon.
Yep, Juan Dixon.
Y'all remember the Arizona team that had
What about the 95?
Miles Simon?
You still there?
Yeah.
No,
What
that
about
was a
the
good
O'Banion
team.
brothers? The O'Banion brothers.
Yeah, I remember them.
I like them over the old
In Arizona,
Carolina
the 94 was Big Nasty.
two teams.
I'm a
Hey, you
I
sound
really
like you're
watched
an
them.
expert on this too.
93 was Michigan, 92 was Duke, 91 was Duke.
He quit watching.
90 UNLV.
Yep.
UNLV.
It was the thing, man. When we was
89
watching,
was Michigan.
didn't J.R. Ryder play at UNLV?
Yeah, but
Yeah, but he
went
wasn't on
with
those.
it.
I know, but man,
Stacey Hoffman.
I remember watching him and
Larry
thinking, this guy is great. As a kid, I remember watching Jerry Stackhouse play, and I thought, this guy, which he wound up being.
Oh,
a
yeah.
good
Oh,
player.
speaking of Jerry Stackhouse, he saved his job.
Yeah, he did. He did.
By making it.
Well, I don't know if they made the tournament. Did Texas A&M make the
No,
tournament?
he
No,
made
they
it late.
did not make the tournament.
How do you win the season?
Texas A&M didn't.
Oh, my
They
God.
did.
Win the SEC.
They beat Alabama, Auburn, and Arkansas in a week.
They're not at large.
No, they did not get in.
They always do somebody terrible. The
Well,
committee-
Who in the hell is the at large? I'm sorry.
Look, they're paying the
I
price
don't
for the
get
number of
Weber,
SEC teams that
Weber
make
State.
over A&M?
I'm just kidding. I'm joking. Weber State. I'm just.
You
messing
know
with
Weber's in it. Is it Weber?
Oh,
or
you're
Weber?
joking.
I'm not
Weber.
joking.
No.
Texas A&M is not an at large bid.
Who do y'all
Yeah,
think
they
will be
get
the Cinderella that makes it to the Sweet 16?
Oh, gosh. I'm sorry, y'all. This will be the last thing we'll talk about
Well, what?
Football? Go ahead.
before we go.
Let's go to
All right.
football.
This is from an expert from Kentucky.
Oh, okay. Oh,
That's the expert.
your uncle.
South
fuck.
Dakota State, Jackrabbits, Vermont, and Davidson. That's your Cinderella.
I can see that.
I don't know nothing about
No.
it.
Let's go into college football spring or whatever.
Vermont. Vermont. I do like Vermont.
Vermont.
Yeah. NCAA spring football, guys. SEC champions. Let's see, 15-day schedule. All right, we will return. They did return this past Friday for football. We got 9 days out till spring break. Monday, March the 21st, guys. A-Day game will be April 16th. Put that on your calendars. Go down and see the Elephants down there stomp around and get ready to make another run at it. They will return 13 starters, 5 offense, 8 on defense. 5 on offense, 8 on defense.
Are they going to have the running of the Gumps?
Yes, that's an annual tradition.
As an Alabama fan, I can't help but laugh.
I can take a good joke.
Clark's got playing for them.
No, the running of the Gumps.
The running of the Gumps.
It's when they open up. Well, it's after the game when they get set up.
It's an Auburn
they open
thing.
the gates, and then you see these guys,
Oh.
truck drivers that are running with these Walmart sacks.
Me and Matt go, but we don't act like that. We
No.
won twice.
All right, let's see here. All right, what was it? Okay, listen, check this out. You got 5 offense returning. You got
Is this for the Gumps?
8 defensive guys returning. 13 early enrolled signees for 2022. They will kick the season off September the 3rd versus Utah State, and then they will be at the Texas Longhorns, and they will take
You want a
on
hot take?
Coach Sark and see how that's going to turn out.
Texas beat 'em.
Now,
Traquan Fagans.
if you want to talk
Impact
about
player year 1.
Josh, if you want some names, here's some names we're going to drop for you. You know, some of these you're already going to know. These are some guys that we're going to be looking for in spring. So when you go down to A-Day, Ja'Cory Brooks, curious about how he has developed and how he's going to take his new role as Michie and Williams are gone. Burton, transfer from Georgia. We're going to see how that works out for him. It's going to be great.
Running back.
And
I've heard
Gibbs
great things about him.
Gibbs from Georgia Tech, running back. He's very fast.
He is.
That's
I've heard great
I
things
still
about him.
think Trey Smith will be the number 1 running back.
I think there's some comparisons of Gibbs to be compared to a Mark Ingram type. You remember how Mark will run and could put his hand down and balance on one hand? So, now I'm not saying he's Mark Ingram, so y'all don't
I
mark me
think,
down
man,
there.
not to interrupt, I think they're going to move McClellan to a receiver. aren't they? Him or Trey Sanders, one.
I don't know. I hadn't heard that.
I hadn't heard.
No,
Trey Sanders too big for players.
I mean, no, it was McClellan, I guess. It had to be.
Trey Sanders weighs about 215, 220.
Look-
Roydell Williams is healthy. He is a great running back.
watch for Latu this spring because, I think he's going to be a good player. And of course,
Question is, what's the Elephants going to do up front?
I'll get to that.
Yeah, that's the big question.
Well, I mean, you got 8 guys back on defense and 5 of your returning offensive. Well, one of them's your quarterback, and you have a just returning.
I know they lost
Is that
at
the
least 3
quarterback that won the Heisman?
Yes, 3 linemen, but your center and stuff's going to stay the same, and they're supposed to be moving the
Dill's
guard,
gone.
one of the guard to the
Evan
center
Dill's
position.
gone.
They're going to swap a few guys around.
Hey,
That's what I'm getting.
he'll be first
Yeah.
pick.
Yes, I think so too. Him or
Average
Dr.
Joe's
Pancake from
sports
from North Carolina State, the one they call Mr. Pancake, North Carolina. I can't pronounce his name. Oka Shalula.
Or
Average
I'm
Joe
not gonna
Sports
try.
Talk watched
Chumbawamba.
Yeah,
the Modern Day versus IMG Academy in Los Angeles game live and filmed. That's how we got big.
well, you get 1 million views on stuff, and you get a lot of.
It was over 3,000 people
we
watching
couldn't-
it live.
I was laying in bed trying to keep right. Couldn't read comments. There was just so many. Come to find out, we were the only
See, there you go.
Place
That's what
you
you was talking about
watch
when we opened the show.
in the world.
We've been up and running less than 2 weeks, and I was in Los Angeles
Uh-huh.
with my phone doing this, and they were like, the guy from Max Preps messaged me, and he goes, "Hey, dude, do you mind if I share this on our main board? Because this is unbelievable. Nobody's covering this game, and there's 51 scholarship offered athletes in this game."
Yeah.
I didn't know what the magnitude of that meant at the time. Man, I said, yeah. As soon as I said, yeah, we were at 20 viewers. It went up to 2,500 viewers within 20 minutes.
Well, you wrote it all Max Preps people.
Well, but speaking of California, I knew a guy that went out, had a cousin out there, and he would go out there. He said they could care less. The people could
Well,
care
you could-
My God, they cared about this one because that stadium is the biggest crowd they've ever had.
High school, it does seem a little better, but you can see at the Rams, celebration,
that.
and there's like 50 people
Hey,
there.
let me tell you this: at
Really?
that stadium where,
Yeah.
He
where,
said
uh,
oh, they could care less.
where Modern Day plays at that stadium, there is it's a stadium that probably holds 8,000, 9,000. They had it completely packed. Then they had all the walkways around it packed.
Mm.
Then they were filling up the aisles. People were sitting in the aisles. Then they had this hill in one of the end zones to go down. It was completely full of people.
Wow.
It was the biggest crowd they've ever had there, not even close.
Maitre D. That's what.
Maitre D.
Yeah,
Now, spring football was said we've got 15 days of scheduled practice. That's what they're allowed to have. Mark it on your calendar. Reminds you, April the 16th, 8-day game. And then Auburn will be March the 14th. Your Auburn War Tigers will be spring game is April the 9th. There will be a $5 ticket charge.
Really?
Yeah.
They having a concert this year?
I don't know.
Why? I mean, that's not bad. Why charge any?
They have 15 days of practice. Tubbs is 5 to 6 on year one. Year two, they went 9-4. So what I'm getting at is Tubbs had a bad year his first year. He went 5-6, and he went on next year and won 9 games. So we're thinking Harsin can, but I don't think so.
Is he going? They kept him around?
Yes. Yeah, they didn't find nothing. He wasn't guilty of nothing. What's out for Sharik Jackson, wide receiver. The Kaufman kid from Vanderbilt, they do have a prominent transfer with him. He plays defense. So Kaufman, Kaufman at Auburn. Keep your eyes open for him at spring. They will open September 3rd versus Mercer. Then they will play San Jose State. And then the big one will be a whiteout for Auburn as they welcome to town the Penn State Nittany Lions.
Pretty good game.
Keep an eye out. Go to the 8-day.
They're at Auburn.
Keep an eye out.
Yes,
for
Penn State's at
Westbrook
Auburn.
alum, John Reese Ballou.
Who?
John Reese Ballou ended up making the squad.
John Reese Ballou.
Mm-hmm.
Well, he's
All right.
actually going to be on. He's going to get in on something.
Yeah.
In some
Played at
packages.
Westbrook, walked on at Auburn, made the team.
Now we have some. I talked to Corey Teague, my son's classmate, at the ball game of the night, and he's at Lindsey Wilson, and he's looking to maybe get a little more time on the field this year. He'll be a sophomore coming in, and
It's a good school.
it is, and they win their division all the time. If you know Lindsey Wilson, the Kentucky, he plays for them. He's like Corey's like he's like
Oh, Keelan.
he's like
He's
6'6", and when he come out in this video, like Corey looks small. Hey, you got some hosses, 6'9", 395, run 4'9", something. I mean, it's
Coach
just,
Keelan from Southside started there, and he's a coach there. Is that right? We saw him play against Fort Payne. He was good.
yeah,
Javon.
Cortez Henderson also.
Boy?
There.
Cortez, yeah.
Lamar Woods?
Yeah.
Did he?
Transferred to
Is
JSU.
it JSU now?
Yep.
Hell yeah. That's awesome.
Now, we got to mention our national champs. You can see them up here on the wall. We have to give them a little bit of love there. They're going to have 10 coming back. Coming back,
On offense or total?
all right, they're going to have defensive safeties, cornerback, linebacker, right tackle, right guard, center, tight end, wide receiver, and quarterback. Daniels may be looking at Mizzou, Oregon State, or West Virginia. We're not sure yet.
Who's graduating?
Smith, now, the safety, had 35 tackles last year. Ringo, we know who he is. He was a local guy, played over there around Atlanta area.
Is that Nolan Smith?
Yes.
Yes. he's
35
very good.
tackles.
Guess what?
Um,
he was in that modern day IMG game.
He's got a foul.
So was Evan Neal.
Nolan Smith. Huh?
34 tackles for he's the one that picked Young, Ringo is, and then the linebacker Smith had 56 tackles, and in the title game he had several made tackles. McClendon, Erickson, Van Prine, Bowers. Of course, we know who Bowers is. These are guys that are going to be up front. They're going to play Kirby Smart style offense. It's going to be tight ends with their hands on the ground. They're going to be blocking and catching. McConkey.
Yeah.
And Mitchell, the wide receiver, and as I mentioned earlier, Stetson Bennett. But Daniels may be.
Pickens is gone though, right?
Yes. Kid from Hoover. Yeah.
Pickens, Cook, and
No.
Smith all ran 4.
Yeah, he's a senior.
Yeah, they ran 4.
Pickens was
Yeah.
a senior.
Well, he went on pro.
He didn't play his senior year.
Oh.
He foregoed his senior year.
They ran 4.
But here's a question. Now, any of you guys that are Georgia fans, if you're watching, and Uncle Lou, if you're watching, we appreciate it. Vandergriff, is he ready? Will he be able to lead this team? I mean, you're going to have Stetson Bennett
She's
come
pretty
back.
good, man. She averaged about 25 a game.
Well, her brother that plays private football school over in Georgia
I'm just kidding.
he's good.
He's talking about
I thought
Prince
I
Avenue.
Prince Avenue.
Olivia Vanderbilt.
Man, he's
Yeah.
I don't know. I think he can play. I thought he was better than Stetson Bennett for some reason, and the Georgia fans didn't like him all year, Dean. Well, that's all we heard. They didn't like Bryce Young. They didn't like Stetson Bennett. Put in Daniels. He won national championship.
That's what I
Boy,
hear
that's our
Average
dude,
Jones.
man. That's our
Everybody
national
wants Josh to
championship.
do our video or our interviews.
Look,
I tell you
honestly,
what,
I
they're getting tired of looking
think
at
Georgia won in spite of Stetson Bennett.
He did good.
Stetson
Yeah.
Bennett didn't start in the championship game.
Yeah, he did.
Yes. Yeah, he started and played and won the game. He wrote
Yeah.
4
He actually
touchdowns.
played good.
Well, but he didn't have to throw the ball but 4 times. He had 4 50-50 balls when Alabama had 2 D-backs out And they're both best wide receivers out of the game.
Hey.
So
He threw that one ball to Pickens. I was like,
yeah, when he stepped on his glove, pulled it off. But
I was
he's playing against
that was
freshman corners.
Birmingham versus Birmingham on that.
Yeah, and it is Kool-Aid, and Kool-Aid's going to be ready, and Pickens has already played. This is his 3rd year in the league. He's a little more
I
grown
hate
man
to say
than
this, and
Kool-Aid.
this is going to hurt a lot of people in Birmingham's feelings watching this if they are. Pickens owned him in high school. When they played them, they beat Pinson Valley like a Cherokee drum.
Now the difference in age,
And
Kool-Aid
they
would have
turned around and
been
go in there.
Kool-Aid would have been like a 7th or 8th grader when Pickens would have been.
No,
Well,
he was a sophomore.
There's 3 years between them.
Sophomore.
No, Pickens is coming out early. He should just.
I mean,
Yeah.
but there's 2.
He was a
Yeah,
sophomore.
that's when
So if
I
he's-
think one of the games we all went to our first
So
year.
Kool-Aid's 18 and
Pinson
Pickens
Hoover
is.
played each other.
Yeah, it's been about
Kool-Aid-
50 to 20 something.
Yeah, Kool-Aid was on the field. So was Pickens.
Yeah,
Our
Kool-Aid
first year.
guarded him.
Well, I'll tell you.
I thought there was like 2 or 3 years between them.
Straight Burton.
Who?
He better hope to God he don't need nothing from anybody. Miko Hardman said he was a punk.
The kid that left Georgia,
And that was a
Alabama.
punk move. He goes, I don't care how many balls you get. You don't do that. What do y'all think? I'm asking y'all.
What's the question?
He transferred from Georgia to Alabama
Oh, yeah.
and started for Georgia.
Yeah, no. It's
I
just.
think it's a smart move.
It's a business decision.
It is.
Well, I don't know
So
why
what do
people-
y'all think about it?
What I think about it is I'm not shocked at all because it's a look at me society
Okay.
and nobody has no more backbone. That's why college football's good.
I'm not a big fan of the transfer portal.
I mean, I'm glad he's coming there because
I
I
think
he's
there
gonna
are a
That's why
few-
college football's done.
There are a few select cases, sick family member, something like that, where it should be allowed.
Mhm.
But the transfer portal as a whole is ruining college football.
Ruining. It's burnt. It's done.
All right.
I'm
It
good.
was before the transfer portal.
Those are some players. Those players that I mentioned there, guys that are coming back for Georgia. They're going to be pretty decent up front. We're going to see who their quarterback's going to be. We talked about Vandegrift. I don't. If he don't get to play, I think he may transfer because we know how it is. Their spring game will be, mark it on your calendars, April the 16th. Practice starts in 2 days. They're going to start practice Tuesday. They lost 14 players to the NFL. So, I mean, it's going to be tough for them. But let's keep an eye on their linebackers and their receivers and their corners. Let's see how that really pans out because that's where they're really, really defeated at. And Bennett and Nolan Smith are definitely going to be leaders on the team. I don't know if they lost their D-back coach. He went to Miami I think he went to the Dolphins, not the Hurricanes. I may be wrong. Somebody
Well,
check
they
that.
did get there.
So I don't know.
Oh, Stacey Searles back.
They're
Oh,
running
that'd
into
be-
the problems that Alabama's been having.
Yes, that's what
Coaches
happens. When you
turn
start
over.
winning, you lose all your coaches. So next week, guys, I will be back on with QBs coming back to some of these teams, Alabama, Georgia, Auburn, and we will talk about USC. I'm kind of curious how that's going to go, and I'll have some news on that. And speaking of Oklahoma, the ex-coach Lincoln Riley's house, $17 million, 13,000 square feet, 7 fireplaces, 700 bottle wine room, a green court, a tennis court, a movie theater, and an elevator. Would you like to go out there and hang out with Coach Riley?
This is
He probably
now,
won't have too many players.
now USC paid for.
What day are we going?
I'm out. USC paid for it. Have y'all heard that?
He's still got a house. He's still got 2. He sold one of his houses here.
No.
He's still got another house to sell or something, but it's on like $2
Have you
million.
not heard about this? USC paid for all of that.
Oh yeah, $17 million house.
They paid
Got an
for
elevator in
him.
it.
They paid for his house. Then they paid for his new house. Then they paid to move him. That's fact.
Yes, yeah.
Well, then-
That's how they got
They
it.
paid off his house he was in. That you're talking about. They paid for his new house, which he's moving to,
$17 million.
and they paid for him to move. That's
That
all
house is in
facts.
Oklahoma.
Yeah, and he's got another. He's got a.
Do they have electricity running to it?
Yes, he had the guest house at this $17 million one in California is not much smaller than his other house at still for sale in Oklahoma. Guys, you have to see this. Just you get bored tonight when you're going home, sitting there and you take your socks off. Just look up Lincoln Riley's house in California.
It looks similar to what
it
Reggie
looks-
has in Lincoln, but not quite that.
It's not
I
quite
wish.
there. It's pretty close. It
It's
looks
not-
honestly
it's
like
close,
some.
but it's not.
It looks like a mobster. It's got the what do you call the stone brick like the Mexican like
Reggie's
houses.
front.
It's amazing. I mean, it's got an elevator. It's got a tennis court. It's got a green to play golf. It's got a
Yeah.
pew theater.
When does he find time to clean it?
Well, no, no, he'll, yeah.
He's probably got a ground crew.
USC's probably got cheerleaders in there every day, making sure that
Have
place
you
is
seen Baker
clean.
Mayfield's house? He lives at the stadium.
I have seen
And
that.
according to the commercials.
Yeah.
Now he gets the little vacuum cleaner. He's out there.
Okay, I'm gonna say this. They need to lay off him just a little bit.
Yeah, I agree.
I mean, come on, man. He's
He's not-
hurt.
He's not as bad as what they're.
No, he's not.
I don't think he is. I think the media got a
He's
hold
actually
of him.
pretty good when he's rolling.
He's got a little bit of attitude. He grabbed his crotch, when he was. But they were
So
talking
did Michael
junk.
Jackson. He was popular.
But, I mean, they were
he
talking
tried to
crazy.
shake their hands and they wouldn't shake
I
his
know.
hand. I mean,
I think it's just football.
Hey, I did see where Duke, when North Carolina beat him, the assistants wouldn't shake Hubert Davis' hand for basketball.
Y'all want to run through this?
Just Duke.
Let me run.
hey,
Let me.
Sorry, Josh.
Hubert Davis used to eat Duke's face off though as a player.
Yeah.
Let me run through this, and we'll get off
Sorry,
here.
Josh.
We're done now.
I've offended Josh accidentally 16 times.
No, Josh is cool, man. He's, don't get on Superman though.
Superman?
Yeah, Superman's not.
Hey, dude.
He's not a real superhero, by the way.
No, do you remember what?
He's seen that video.
I got stuck with Superman. Okay, I don't support.
Y'all watch
I'm just
Seinfeld,
fine.
right?
I'm just
He's a
messing with
Punisher guy.
The only time Jerry
I
ever
love
started off
Punisher.
with George
I
when
love-
he said something about Superman.
About Superman.
He goes, "I'll be doggone if I'm going to stand here and let you talk about Superman."
He gets fired. He gets fired up.
What was the deal with that? Was they just that big a Superman
Yes,
fan?
he had it on all his shows. He'd have it somewhere in the background.
Yeah,
on
I've
the
looked
show.
for it. There's been episodes where I couldn't find it.
He was very intelligent, but when it comes to Superman, he just
All right, hey, let's hit me up on this. Now, here's some news y'all may already know. Cowboys, Cooper from Bama, he's done deals going to the Browns. Matt Ryan has trimmed $37 million from the cap, and tomorrow is what they call freelance day for the NFL, so they can move money. You're going to start seeing some older players move tomorrow. Just go ahead and keep your eyes open if you're interested. Khalil Mack, Dean, to the Chargers.
yeah. I don't know why he keeps.
You're going to be playing with Bosa? You're going to put Bosa and Khalil Mack on the same team.
I'm thinking Chargers are fixing to be really good.
Bro,
When are the Raiders going to get a chance to cash in all these?
I don't know. I wish they'd be
They
good,
got-
man. I'm a Raiders fan. I like.
Why does
you know.
Khalil Mack keep getting traded? Just the money? It's just too much to pay
Look, there's got to be something there.
because he does good.
I think it's because his stock stays so high.
Hey, what about Von Miller to the Cowboys? That was a rumor I heard today.
He's going there. He's
It's a very
Oh, he's
likely
from
possibility.
Texas,
Yes,
He's from Arlington.
He's an A&M.
he may want to go retire at the Dallas.
Reggie
Okay,
played at A&M.
Deshaun Watson not guilty. He said he's going to have to try to rebuild his name, which he may be looking at other options. We was watching
It'll
when the
take a
guys
while.
come over.
He may be throwing to Bailey Blanchard next year too.
Well, yeah, that's possible.
Good.
Yeah,
That'd be awesome, dude.
Hey, here's a big move. Stingley Jr. will be moving up on the draft board. The guys really liked him at the combine. Really high on him. LSU.
Oh yeah.
Stingley, he's really good. Here's some controversy, and I'll ask you about this, guys. And this is the last part, and we'll be done.
I know what he's talking about.
Oh, okay.
Calvin Ridley out 2022. It's about betting.
He was on draft team.
$11 million
$1,500.
salary is gone. He's forfeited this year for betting. 3 parlay bets online. Go to hardrocksportsbook.com. They're not a sponsor, but me mentioning this, and it's going in the subtitles right now as I'm speaking it. Hard Rock Sportsbook. It could help videos get a hit, so I'm going to say Hard Rock Sportsbook again.
Why did they come down on him?
Because you can't. Falcons versus Jaguars game. He also bet on an NFL game for $10K. It's his money. I don't care what he's doing.
Ray Rice beat a woman senseless.
He never played again, though, either, did he?
But no, he got a 6-game suspension. I mean, there is a post.
I see what you're saying.
You beat your wife, and they don't.
6 games. But you bet on a football game, you're out for the year. You don't get paid either. We're not letting you
What
get
does it matter if he bet on it? It was a legal bet, too.
Ask
Like,
Pete Rose.
he wasn't betting with a local bookie, and
Hey, dude, Pete Rose.
You can't. It's
And,
against the rules.
Pete
Roger Goodell
Rose
says
may
you
be the
can't.
greatest.
I mean,
he is
it's
one of the greatest baseball players ever, without question.
Pete
Yeah.
Rose is being robbed. Pete Rose
Every
is in
year.
the Hall of Fame.
every year he gets robbed.
Calvin Ridley should not be,
No,
unless
that's
you're
good, man.
betting on your team.
Well, he did,
If the
but
NFL
he wasn't
can tell
playing
me-
when he betted on his team in November. He was not
So
playing
why
with
can't he do
them.
it?
He was out on injury.
If the NFL
And he
can tell
betted
me
for his
you
team.
can beat your wife
He betted his
by
team.
touches
He betted his team would win.
on film. and still come out and play.
He put like
but you
$500
can't
on
bet
Falcons
your own
game.
money on a game. Come on.
And look, he betted
Can we
on his
do it?
team, but he betted on them to win.
Could we do a bracket pool if we were all pro football players
No.
for the NCAA?
Oh, yeah.
We couldn't
You
throw
can't
in
bet on
50.
your event, though.
Oh.
Like, your event's NFL.
But if you bet on yourself to win,
So if he bet on, seriously, if he bet
But
on the World League over in Germany,
Oh, he's fine.
But he wasn't even playing, see, in that November. One of those, some of those bet, and he was betting on NBA
Dude,
games
Pete
too.
Rose is still not in the Hall of Fame.
That's
He got
that,
the all. He's still got the hits record, right?
yeah. There's a lot of other stuff
Oh,
behind the scene with that. Him and some of the old guys in the Hall of Fame. That's
Two records I don't
on
think
the
ever
boards.
broke. His and Cal Ripken's.
Cal Ripken.
There's some bad blood there.
You know why? Because there's a bunch of beta males now. Nobody's gonna break Cal Ripken's
well,
record. Here. I'm telling you.
oh yeah, no,
look,
I'm being
Yeah.
serious. There's
Cal
betas.
Ripken
Betas.
was helped with that record. He was running late to a game.
uh-huh.
They turned the lights off, so they couldn't get it back on.
yeah.
Waited until he got there, and then turned the lights
He was gonna play though.
Yeah.
Now,
And then there was games where he come
I don't
in,
think nobody's gonna
and
break
play
Brett
one.
Favre's record.
Which one?
interceptions.
No, no. I mean, starting as consecutive starts
Yeah, I agree.
as a quarterback.
Good. What was it, 160 or 200?
Oh, that's a lot more than that. A lot more than that. Google it. Somebody Google it. How many games he's starting in a row? It's way more
My
than
phone's
that.
fixing to go dead.
Look,
We've been on 2.5.
he walks like he set that record.
This is the longest show we've ever had.
Well, Coach Howard was about two.
It's 2:15.
It was 2:15 long.
Or
He started
2:25.
in a row.
Yeah.
No, 2 hours 15 minutes.
Oh.
Yeah, Coach Howard.
And then we wasn't even close to done.
Yeah, we're
Or
about.
he was.
No, we could. Yeah, he's Coach Howard. We,
I mean,
we love having
him
him.
on. That defends him, but he wasn't. He could have gone 2.5.
Yeah, and it's not an
Are
offensive.
you ready
thing.
for this?
Here we go. 300.
237.
387.
297 games in a row. It's the NFL record.
By him. By.
Not even his position. It's the overall NFL record.
Oh, well, yeah. That's how many years is that?
I mean,
Dude, they only
where's
played
Tom
what?
Brady at?
He didn't start that many. He had torn
He
ACL.
didn't start his first year.
No,
But he's been in the league for
no, but
years.
he had torn ACL one season.
Yeah, he had to wait
You got to
on.
think of people rolling up on your ankles as a quarterback. Look at that.
'Cause that
Jim Marshall's number 2 at 270. This dude started almost 300 straight games at QB.
Because he's a hoss. He's a manly. He's a man's
he's
man.
opposite of beta male.
No, he's
This
my-
is
he's
the
a-
beta male society.
He's the kind of guy that likes to cut wood right now. He's probably cutting wood, getting
Yeah.
ready to go camping and go fishing.
That's right.
Yeah.
Hey,
He's
I'm sorry we
cutting
kept
wood,
y'all
we're cutting
long.
cheese.
I'm sorry we kept y'all long, but I appreciate you.
No, yeah, we could. I'm not kidding. I could stay in here all night. We would just talk and go on. I don't. If we had something to eat and Reggie wasn't about to fall asleep, and I didn't have to get up at 4:30. I wouldn't care. I would stay here and talk till midnight. I really would. We would
I
just
would
talk
too.
about all kind. We'd get on a religious thing. We'd just make it about. I mean, I could do it,
I can do it too.
but we're just blabbermouths, Bo.
Let's
Me
do
and
a
you.
24-hour one day.
Let's do it.
Well, hey,
What
the
are we
only
doing?
way I'll do it is if I'm going to get $500.
Are we
If
raising?
somebody will donate
Like $500
$500 to us, I'll do it.
I'll do it for
I'll
nothing.
do 24 hours
I ain't
straight.
doing it for nothing.
You just.
I'll do it for nothing.
I need to be off the
I'm not
next
even
day.
sit up
Yeah,
for
let's
it.
get a billboard and live from.
How about we sit on top of the billboard?
I ain't doing that.
I'll
You
do
don't
that.
agree that we need something in return?
No.
Oh,
No, I'm good. I'll do it. I'm with you.
publicity?
You're talking to a dude that just sat through 68 basketball
Oh yeah,
games. in 2 weeks.
24 hours on a billboard, nothing for him.
Dude, I know people that go to like 2 games in a row or 3 games in a row in high school, and they're like, dude, I got to get out of here. I just sat through the JV, the girls, and I, varsity. I'm ready to go home. I sat through 68 games in 2 weeks.
Bro.
Lord.
That's a lot.
I'm serious. We appreciate y'all coming.
Yeah.
And
go.
We
We
appreciate
always
y'all. The only complaint
have a good
I have
time.
is there's not more of y'all.
Oh.
I don't know why. Why's the deal with just not
There's
taking a
nobody
little bit of
nowhere like
time?
that.
I mean,
appreciate y'all.
Yeah.
but I
Real
mean,
talk.
it's not. I'm not gonna say it's very aggravating. And
What I like about y'all is there's no competition. It's all about helping each other.
oh no, yeah, I'm not trying to.
Well, it's just, 15 years ago, I was like, hey, I want to talk about sports on TV. How do I do that? And nobody knew. I don't know.
Yeah, you only have like 2 outlets.
It's
You
easy,
got to
man.
start this podcast. I'm like, huh?
What?
We got it figured out now, boys.
Yeah.
Moving forward.
Man, I'll give Matt credit
But
for
I'm gonna let
that.
Reggie go to the house. We need to.
Yeah, I need to go too. I
He's
ain't
gotta
even
get up
ate.
at 3 a.m.
Yeah, I gotta be up early.
Hey, I love y'all, man. Appreciate y'all
Yeah,
having us.
love you guys, man. We thank y'all for
Thank you.
coming. Everybody, y'all are always welcome. If you come every weekend, we'll do this all the time. Dean wouldn't; he couldn't
Let us
make it.
know. Hey, Todd. 24. Let's do it.
I could. Do,
You have to talk to the sponsor. I know some lawyers here in Cherokee County will do it.
yeah. All right, let's get off here, guys.
All right, y'all be good.
Thank y'all.
Have a good week.
Y'all have a good week. Keep your heads clear and your hearts full of God as always. And we will catch you back. Catch you guys back next week. And we appreciate it.
That would be a record, though.
Let's do it.